Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 5. I had to do a little bit of math. The only math I'm probably going to do in this first warm up, week 5, day 3 of the TCL season 4. That's a lot of numbers. We got more numbers coming at you because this is the match that is going to decide our number 1 and our number 2 seed who get guys in the playoffs. I am Jaws. Thank you so much for joining me. Alongside me, Mr. Bully, who is much better at numbers than I am. And not to get too ahead of ourselves, we have the Mariachi Mullets facing off against What's a Win Con. And the Mariachi Mullets have to secure a win to get themselves one of those top 3 seeds at least. And they are still vying for first number 1 seed and number 2 seed in a deadlocked 3-way tie with Pickles on Pizza and the Blood Moneys.
Yeah, well, first off, thanks everyone for being with us. And yeah, it's going to be a real battle tonight. Unofficially, the number is around 36 minutes and 45 seconds. That is the average win time that Team Mariachi Mullets needs to have the tiebreak ahead of Blood Monies and Pickles on Pizza. And because both those teams are so tight as well, actually a tenth of a second average win time separates the two of them, it will be the difference between first and likely the third seed. So it's actually a huge difference. It's the difference between a bye. So it's
That's
gonna be
insane.
yeah, it's
And
gonna
also,
be a
didn't we
speed run.
say that there's potentially a risk of one of these teams if Mariachi Mullets lose? Can they get below the 3 seed? Is there a risk of them dropping all the way down to the 4 seed?
No, so fortunately for them, at least, they have tiebreak above everyone beneath them, so they are safe. The only team they've lost to so far is Pickles on Pizza. If they lose, they will lose to what is a win con. If they lose to what is a win con, they would lose the head-to-head between them, but still have tiebreak over every other team in an isolated head-to-head tiebreak. So they would be
Okay.
good. They'd be sitting at 3 wins. They would probably be pretty pissed off to be the third seed and have to play in the first round, which is actually a big deal because none of these rounds are like guaranteed wins at all. Plus, you get scouting advantages. Obviously, if you're sitting there as a team with a bye, you get to watch another team play a full best of 5 series. That's a huge advantage. Not to mention the risk that you get upset being completely avoided in that first round. So definitely a lot to play for. And we also shouldn't discount that this is a perfect opportunity for What's a Win Con to come
Oh,
in,
yeah.
get some mojo. They play tomorrow. They play versus
They certainly do.
yeah, so they're gonna play versus Team Sandy, whose name I can't remember right
Oh,
now.
yeah, it's gonna be
Um,
the burnt circuit cleanup,
Burnt Circuit
and,
Cleanup. Thank
this
you.
I haven't gone super deep, but, as you said, the number 3 seed is gonna be facing off against the loser of that matchup. So burnt circuit cleanup versus What's a Win Con, both still looking for their first, series win this season. The winner of that matchup will claim the 5 seed, face off against the number 4 seed. And the loser of that matchup will have the misfortune of playing against one of those juggernauts, Mariachi Mullets, Blood Monies, or Pickles on Pizza. As we are into Champion Select, Zillion as the first band for Mariachi Mullets, followed by Aurelia, not wanting to see that in the mid lane, and then Viego aimed very, very focused on Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, that's a champion that Blitzkrieg can really carry on. We've seen him be kind of the shining member of What's a Win Con here. Really had some awesome carry performances, even though they haven't found a win yet. He's really looked good, and taking that champion away, I think, is pretty smart. As we see a Trundle return ban targeting Rook Stout.
Yeah, great bands, targeted bands, and we had mentioned before that What's a Win Con, despite not having a win quite yet, they've done a lot in some of these series. They've been knocking on the door, and there is no pressure on them whatsoever right now. And all of the pressure is on the Mariachi Mullets. As we mentioned, this is one part League of Legends match and one part speed run. Mariachi Mullets has to win, and they have to win fast. And if they try to win too fast, that could turn into a loss for them as Jace and Tom Kench off the table. First pick, Hecarim being hovered by the Mariachi Mullets.
Yeah, if they want to be real jerks about it, I guess they could just draft like wave clear and even lose the game. They have nothing to lose. Just stall this out. Turn it
Play
into a really
spoiler.
turn it
Time
into a really
spoiler.
long
Yep.
game. I'm sure Pickles on Pizza and Blood Monies would love that. That would probably make them pretty darn happy. But yeah, they have nothing to play for. We get the Hecarim first pick. That's a Rook Stout classic.
Well, I wouldn't say they have nothing to play for. They absolutely have
Oh,
something to play
definitely,
for. It just doesn't affect
definitely.
their playoff
Right,
picture. They
right.
they are in this is the best situation to be in if you are a competitive team where you have no pressure, you have nothing to lose, and you have an opportunity
Ooh.
to play spoiler against a team that honestly has been pretty vocal all season about what they can do as Ziggs is locked in. Interesting reaction from you as well as Orn on the side of what's a win con back to the Mariachi Mullets.
Yeah, I love the Zigs and the Orn. Huge takeaway. We've seen Mariachi Mullets flex the Zigs or threaten to flex the Zigs. It always goes bot, but it's been an awesome pick for Who Is This, as well as the Orn takeaway from Bro Manzilla. I think that's by far his best looking solo laner. I would have been shocked if they didn't pick it, if it had been left up for them this time. So some awesome takeaways here as we have the Misfortune. That's a fallback pick for Who Is This. It does pretty much the same thing as the Zigs. It's going to get you a lot of really good priority in lane, and you can leave it if you're IREP, which I think has been pretty huge for this team, as we've seen them sometimes maybe struggle in the 2-on-2 fights. So if you give IREP an 80 carry that can just push out the lane so that he can leave as the support, it creates a huge difference. As we see the Scion pick, I think that's a pretty good answer. Bromanzilla,
Yeah.
definitely a tank player, and I think that champion actually can have some pretty good scaling into a free lane like the Ornn. You're basically handshaking the tank matchup.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. I'm not sure. You can never count out IREP's champion pool, so I'm not sure if that is
Yeah,
potentially an option. By the way, just a quick PSA as we get into the second round of bans. If you would like to be on our analyst desk and help us while away that 3-minute delay, you can feel free to jump into Law One right now, and we'll be picking one lucky person every game in this series. So if we go three, we'll pull in three different people.
yeah,
Second wave of bans starting off, and just mention the Scion. I know that support Scion has been a thing in the past. I'm not sure if that has been nerfed into oblivion. Kane being grabbed as the jungler for what's a win con. We'll have to see. Maokai as the ban that is directly targeted at IREP, who has been
yeah. They,
fantastic on that champion. But yeah, I'm not sure. Could go top. Could go support. I'm not sure if Scion can jungle still. Can he?
Yeah, he can. I would be shocked if it's not Hecarim Jungle Scion top. It is definitely an IREP classic support pick Scion. But I think they're getting a little ahead of themselves if they think they can play Scion support tonight like that quickly. I'd be really stunned if it's not a pick for Bromanzilla. And obviously, what's a win con agrees they're banning out that Maokai from IREP. I think that's not really a shocker. Anyone who's seen him play. Um, he's
Mhm.
looked so freaking good on that champion, and it's just such a pain in the butt to play against. If he gets control of that river, he can drop the saplings everywhere, and it's just impossible to walk into. As we see on the
Yeah.
flip side, the Thresh ban against Tactics, I also like. And yeah, there's Pantheon as well. Banning out some of these custom IREP champs.
Yeah, the IREP Tom Kench. I loved watching him play that Tom Kench. Such a classic support, and it really fits his play style. He definitely has that personality of I just want to make your life miserable, and he's really, really good at it. Tom Kench, one of those champions that just prevents you from doing what you want, works great as well with a low mobility champion like the Misfortune, who sometimes needs a bit of an escape path. Not going to be an option. Jinx off the table, which is yep, Jinx off the table. As you mentioned, Pantheon as well. Rounding into the final wave, and something we didn't really talk about is this bot lane matchup across the board. You mentioned IREP. IREP and Who Is This sometimes struggling in the 2v2. Devious and Worst Tactics NA also struggling a little bit against some of these other bot lane duos. Now, to be fair to this
Ooh,
league, bot lane is a
ooh,
little stacked. We got a lot of different
what?
options as the Tryndamere
Wait,
is grabbed. I don't think we've
so
seen this since Vrail, have we?
I I don't think that was supposed to be a Tryndamere. I think there's a champ select bug. It looks like
Yep,
yeah, we're
we got
remaking.
a bug.
I happen to know which champ it is, so it sucks that that was a bug. But I promise that when we run it back and get the same picks, you're gonna get hype for the champion that was supposed to be. It's gonna be kind of cool. So I'll leave you guys in suspense for now on that. But yeah, champ select bug that was not supposed to be a Tryndamere, which makes sense. Doesn't really can't really fit a trend into that comp when you already have your top and your mid laner picked.
Yeah.
Not really anywhere for Trend to go.
Yeah, that's definitely. I was kind of rooting for it. I was hoping for. It's like, oh, is it another Tryndamere mid? Are we gonna see a repeat of
Yeah.
The Vrail Nightmare split push, which I loved. I love seeing crazy champions coming out of nowhere. The mid plank or other stuff like that that you just don't typically see. Although I am a bit of a boomer when it comes to what's hot in League of Legends. So maybe what is old is new again, just like fashion.
You
So we're
know,
going to rapid fire through here. That Tryndamere going to be something else. And we do thank you for those of you that were able to jump into Law 1. We're going to grab you once we finalize this champion select. And Bully, I think we're going to grab someone that has some opinions about this tiebreaker to talk about game one. So we'll have to prepare ourselves.
yeah, yeah, definitely. This game one is going to be pretty exciting. I think, especially when we see what this fourth pick here for what is a win con comes through. I think that their comp is going to be pretty freaking hype here. I honestly am starting to really tilt towards them. I think they've got a really good setup here. I'm not super big fan of this three-man comp that they have so far. Going to be interesting to see what I think IREP's pick here is make or break. I think if IREP is on a much more mobile champ, think like the Pike is something he's gone to in the past. Pantheon was one, but that's banned. It's going to be really interesting to see if he can get something of that vein that allows him to go mid and enable Abarn. And I also want to see
Mhm.
what Abarn picks. His Rise is up. That could be something kind of cool. Something with a little bit more agency would be hype. And here it is. I hope it gets locked. That's what I was told
It
it was. It's
is.
Renata. Okay, so
Let's
Renata is
go.
enabled. This champ is hype as hell. Has the horny bomb ult, which makes everyone turn and smack the nearest thing to them, which is pretty freaking hype. This champion, I think, is unbelievably OP. The W obviously has a revive. This is the first Renata in TCL.
Okay.
Um, going to be pretty interesting to see
There's the rise.
how practice tactics is on it. And yeah, there's Rise. I love that. Leaving it up at your own peril. It's definitely Abraham's best champ. Bard would be interesting. It's the same
Bard
kind of
is
vein.
definitely an IREP champ. You know,
Yeah.
he's got that
Oh, oh,
trolley.
oh,
He's kind of
oh.
got that trolley champ vibe. Oh, could we see it?
This is an IREP pick. Yeah, yeah. If he goes for this, this is an IREP pick. I know IREP for sure has an opinion on how to beat Renata. I don't know what it
Let's
is.
go. Let's
And it's
go. Here it
okay.
is.
So this is
Okay.
either Scion support or Jarvan support. I'm pretty sure this is Jarvan support. If you've never seen this, it's obnoxious as hell. It's kind of like playing into Xerath, but with a lot faster poke, right? A lot less dodgeable poke. He's gonna max the E. He's gonna go the AP support item, the Spell Thieves, and he's just gonna and Airy, and he's just gonna drop E's on you, and it's gonna
So
feel
he's just free.
freaking
So he just
miserable.
flags. He just flag.
Yes,
It's
yes. He's
flag
just
airy,
dropping flag.
flag
And
airy, and then
eventually, I
yeah,
believe he's going
love
to
it.
buy just a Zonia's and be an engage button, right? So he's going to go in and Zonia's, and that will be it. That is his contribution to the fight. I think it's kind of troll, but it's hype. Like it's an IREP staple pick, right? This is
Yeah.
what IREP likes playing with. As it looks like here,
Yep.
we're in a break, but we got Mr. Bloodbath and Beyond.
Hey, Mr. Bloodbath and Beyond, how you doing?
Hey guys, what's up?
Oh,
Hey,
not much.
nothing
Just,
much, dude.
just doing the usual, trying to waste 3 minutes and 30 seconds so that we can
True.
watch some League of Legends. So Blood, I gotta start things off. So we've got two fully locked champions. A lot or team comps. We have a lot riding on this game, not just in terms of who wins or who loses, but in terms of how fast they win or they lose. So let's start kind of talking about that. We can talk about the picks as well, but I'd love to talk about the mind games in terms of the speed run and the time pressure for the Mariachi Mullets.
Yeah, I think they've got, just right off the bat, a very solid like early game potential. You got the Jarvan in the support, and you got Hecarim just being a strong jungler as is, and even MF is pretty good like follow up to that kind of stuff. They do have the scaling and the rise, but on the flip side, they're also dealing with like major scaling, right? So it's gonna have to be the way they want it to be even more, right? They're gonna have to take over in the early game because the later as it goes, it's going to be harder and harder to make that happen.
Yeah, definitely. Blood, whose comp do you like here? Like if you're picking a winner of comp.
I mean, if I were just looking at comp, I would definitely say Mariamichi Mullets here. I think, I don't know, what's a WinCon's comp looks pretty all over the place.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't like this Lux. We didn't talk about
Okay.
it, but I don't like this Lux.
Okay.
yeah, it's
Okay. Say more
weird.
about
Of
that. Yeah.
course.
What do you mean by all over the place?
Well, I will say for starters, though, that doesn't mean I think that they're going to win the game because they also have in the mid lane a person whose name is Abarns. So,
True, true. Can never count
um,
out Abraham's ability to lose a game.
yeah, well, I mean, for one thing, like Rudy and I were just in Mall 1, we were talking a little bit, and I was just saying to him, like Ziggs Renata, I don't feel like is a very, I don't know, that's kind of a not much lane. Like it's not going to do a whole lot. They're going to farm. I don't think Renata really roams as a champion. But looking at the flip side of that, like Jarvan MF is pretty terrifying. Like what does
Yeah,
Ziggs Renata do against that?
Yeah.
sounds pretty miserable. Seems like you're just gonna get shoved under tower and kind of clobbered for it.
Yeah, the level
Yeah,
2 on that is just insane. Where
yeah,
you
very scary.
one good flag and drag, plus you've got the Hecarim coming in. Assuming that Rook Stout does pay attention to the bot lane, considering how explosive that bot lane combination is, I would expect him to go bot in the jungle and apply some pressure early. Maybe do a little bit of a lane gank rolling through. And as you mentioned, Ziggs and Renata, they can hang back. Ziggs can poke, but yeah, that hard engage is there's not a lot they're going to be able to do if Misfortune, Jarvan, and Hecarim all decide to dogpile on them.
Yeah, absolutely. They're also, for the most part, dealing with some pretty massive engages. But I will say, to their credit, some things like Renato ult and Ziggs as a champion in general, they have very, very good ways of getting back off that engage and even punishing a poorly executed engage. I mean, a poor executed engage into a Renato ult, and your whole team is just going to kill each other. So, kind of excited to see if that's going to happen.
Yeah, this is such a unique mechanic to League of Legends. I think this is one of the first times. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time we've ever seen almost a confusion ability where not only
Yeah.
are you disabled, but you are actively hurting your teammates.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's the first friendly fire type thing.
Alrighty, Blood. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Mhm.
And enjoy the show. And because we are into this, bully. There's
Yeah.
only room for 2 people on this cast. This game's got too
Yeah.
much on the line. Let's
Get
get
the hell
into it.
out of here,
Who you
Blood.
think's gonna take it? Yeah, sorry, Blood. Well, I'm nicer than you
Love
are.
you, Blood. Love you, Blood. But yeah, I'm definitely that Lux pick kind of tilted it for me. I'm definitely tilting more towards Mariachi Mullets here. Based on comp, I will say, not a big fan of the rune choice. You guys can't see it yet, but I can. From Blitzkrieg, it looks like he is going for the red cane, which, I mean, I guess this is a relatively low range comp, but I think the opportunity for him to go blue cane and really pump out some pretty high AD damage when he's his basically team's only AD would have been kind of interesting, but you can definitely still do that as red cane. So it's not a big deal as we have a pause here. Off the bat, they know this has to be a meme, no? There's a whole meme about the pause and how it allowed Blood's team to like think better last night, I guess, so that they could end the game a tenth of a second faster. Is this a real
Yeah.
pause or is this a meme pause? I don't
I
know.
think this is I'm seeing IREP. I believe IREP has to bio or something like that, or I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay,
But we are
here we go.
unpaused. We are into the game. We are ready to go. Game 1 of this series, which will determine it will have a major factor on the top 3 seeds. So, Bully, once again, right now, who's taking it?
Yeah, I'm tilting Mariachi Mullets in this first game as we have this weird spectator bug. Hopefully that gets over. I think Mariachi Mullets really has it here. I think they've got a lot of comfort pick on their team. You can see sort of the depth of them. Yeah, they got the Ziggs and the Ornn taken away, but they have Scion MF, which are pretty capable replacements. Abarn's still got his trusty Rise, and now you've got Rook as well on the Hecarim, something he's super comfortable with. And the added wrinkle of whatever the hell IREP is about to do on this Barrier Ignite Jarvan. This is full.
Baby.
We are
That's
in
a
IREP
battle
territory.
Jarvan.
Oh, we
Love
got
it.
the invade. IREP started root, or Abarn started root, and yeah,
forcing
there's
the
Rid's flash.
Yeah, good
Alright.
flash out onto Verd. That's a great situation for Abarn to be in. Rise still needing a little bit of time. I mean, he can harass in lane, but he definitely still needs a little bit of time to rev up. So being able to provide Rook Stout, Abarn's favorite jungler, some would say his pocket jungler, a bit of a motivation to come mid. So while we were saying, yeah, probably going to be an attractive lane, bot lane with the MF Jarvan kill potential, a flash down on mid, it's junglers licking their chops. As we see, looks like it's going to be bot side. Yep, bot side starts. Red buff for Rook Stout, blue buff for Blitzkrieg.
What is Blitz doing?
Oh,
I think
or
he's
is
gonna
he
take
going to
Raptors?
invade?
Alright, he's gonna do Raps, and they don't know about this.
Never mind.
This is some crafty stuff right here. I like it. So it's going to disrupt the clear of Rook Stout a little bit, but also on the flip side of this, Blitz is going to then. Oh, he doesn't.
Oh,
does he get it?
Oh, what a
Wait, that is
steal from
alpha
Blitzkrieg.
as hell from Blitz, and he
And
pressures out
immediately
mid.
And he immediately goes for a mid strike, takes a little bit of
Oh,
harass,
he's taking
takes a
all the
little bit of
farm.
takes a little bit of attacks, and Blitzkrieg is making a statement.
Wait, that was
Wow.
alpha. That is some Chad jungling right there. Takes the reps, smites the buff, then goes mid, says, Verd, give me this farm. You're already in thing. You got no flash. I don't care. Give me the farm. He takes his own reps. He is way ahead of Rook Scout. That's going to
Wow.
feel awful.
Well, that's some week 5 that's some week 5 YOLO jungling. Blitzkrieg getting out to a great lead. Kane, a jungler that loves having a lead, and Rook Stout looking to return the favor and punish Blitzkrieg. However, he is level 2 to level 3, and Blitzkrieg has a red buff fighting over the wolf. Who's going to take it? Rook Stout will take it. He does ghost. He's going to continue to fight, but Blitzkrieg has that red buff. You need to help him, Abarn. Flash coming in. First blood. Blitzkrieg rolling through the wall. He is going to get out of here as we see a jungler fight. The chaos continues. Abarn coming in, trying to punish. Broman trying to keep Togimon there. Togimon is low. He is rooted. He is going to die. Flash coming in for both champions, but Blitzkrieg wanting to clean up. Gets another kill. Versus that. Oh my goodness, do we have an upset in the making? Pure chaos as a double kill comes out when the dust settles. 3 for 2, and Blitzkrieg, despite dying, getting a 2 for 1 start. Great start for him on the Kane, and completely neutering, for lack of a better term, Rook Stout. As IREP goes in, I'm not going to stop talking this entire game. Worst tactics in A goes down. Who is this able to take the kill? IREP continuing on, following up. Will he get away? No, he won't. Devious getting the kill, but a double kill for who is this? So absolute chaos across the map. Let's take a breath.
Yeah, that was crazy. IREP almost living there with the barrier, but yeah, huge trade. And the part that's, oh wow, Verd is eating a, Verd, you can't be here, buddy. Okay, yeah, he's gonna live. I don't know what his HP was there, but it was not a high number. Anyway, yeah, huge fight for Blitzkrieg. He is going to waste a little time going back towards the top side, but the bigger thing for them here is that is a lot of Kane stacks onto Kane. Kane is going to be very close to that form. The earlier in the game you fight, I believe it's pre-7 minutes, damage against champs like that actually gives you more stacks than it does later and later in the game. So you do want to be fighting as much as you can early, obviously within reason and without sitting yourself too far behind. And that's exactly what, that type of fight is exactly what Blitz wanted. He's going to be very close already to accelerating to this Red Kane form, and just keeping it chaotic in the end is going to be pretty big. Now, another little wrinkle of that I want to talk about real quick is that the double buffs went over to Bromanzilla because he did get the kill in the Scion passive. Looks like they've already expired, but it should have bought him just a little bit more space in this lane, as he is going a Hullbreaker build, it looks like, with the pickaxe. So that should be interesting and should give him a little bit of an edge here in the top lane. But ultimately, a big win for what is a win con.
Yeah, big win for what is a win con. We said it before. They have nothing to lose in this game. They are playing spoiler, and they are absolutely playing like they have nothing to lose. Blitzkrieg with a completely wacko jungler start that definitely turned out well for him and his team. As you mentioned, Kane really loving to fight early and being rewarded for it. And even in the bottom lane, IREP and who is this just being as aggressive as they possibly can to try and get something back, but Blitzkrieg is on the hunt. He does have the red buff. He is getting low. Rookstad, however, there for the counter engage. He is a little bit low, and he is going to go down. That early jungler start for Blitzkrieg really making him pay for it. So now the Mariachi Mullets almost have to play without a jungler as Blitzkrieg continues to roll in and exert his will. This is his jungle now as the rest of his team comes to support, and Rook Stout needs to right the ship really fast because Blitzkrieg is running away with this jungle matchup as he continues to roll in, gets out, goes for the dragon.
This is what Blitzkrieg was always supposed to be for this team, right? This 1v9 player, we mentioned him as kind of the bright light on this team. You guys, this can get stolen really easily. Okay,
yeah,
Renata secures it from 22 health. Not even close. But yeah, Rook needs a hug to whoever said that in chat. I agree. This is miserable for him. Blitz is absolutely 1v9 as we see the flash out of Tokimon. That's unfortunate. Definitely if he gets knocked up there, Zilla just hit 6, so he could have ulted and gotten the kill. The flip side is definitely true now, though.
Oh no, that's gonna be an Ornhorn, but he dodges it. However, he is out of mana, and he is gonna be out of luck. Tokemon having to flash out, but is able to survive and turn around and get the kill. A little bit of BM as he walks away. Tokemon Panda taking it for what's a win con, who are continuing to cruise in really embracing the spoiler role, I think.
Yeah, for real. This, if nothing else, this is going to be a long win for Mariachi Mullets. And right now it looks like they're going to lose. So, you know, this, if you're a Pickles on Pizza fan, this gives you hope, because this is how they get the bye, right? Is we got to fight with Rookstout here. And he's just going to run away.
Rep going in. Gonna be able to get out of there. Good play by Devious. And a cancel from Worst Tactics NA, who is this actually wasting his first Misfortune Hall. Another thing to note, IREP only level 4, does not have the dunk quite yet. Some of the realms not paying off for him. He's taken poke. It's not a good situation. There's the flag poke as a counter, but IREP needs to get level 6 in order to do something else in this lane, as Rookstout desperate to catch up.
Yeah, definitely got to be careful in the bot lane, especially because Irep doesn't have any flash either. So he's playing super vulnerable. As Gank here on the top.
Yeah, Gank coming in. Blitzkrieg able to work with Tokemon Pando, get the knock-up. They are under turret. They need to be careful. There goes the bounce. Is Tokemon doing it? Yes, he is. Flash out from Blitzkrieg. Well done. That is, as you mentioned, exactly what we've always wanted Blitzkrieg to do all season. Nice to see him doing it in such a high-stakes match, although not really high stakes for what's a win con. Loving to see them enjoying and embracing this role.
Yeah, go for it, man. This is absolutely awesome to see from Blitz. Like, he's just kind of throwing everything to the wind and saying, like, you know what? I'm going to carry a game. Like, this is my game. I'm 1v9. Already, that is an 8-minute and 20-second red cane. He is giant. Spirit, I believe it was, said in chat that this comp is thin on AD damage, and I agree with the exception of Blitz. This comp is kind of designed to enable Blitz, right? You have a lot of AP damage elsewhere, but if Blitz becomes a big enough threat, that almost doesn't matter, because you do have to start to think, like, how do I itemize to not get murked by the Fed Cane, right? Like, it's a lot of damage coming out of him too, and you feel bad if you start building any armor to deal with him, because then all of a sudden you've got this Lux and this Ziggs pounding on you. So it's honestly exactly, if there was a player on What's a Win Con who needed to get ahead, it was Blitz, and he's done exactly that.
Yeah, he really has done his job, and that's something that we see sometimes depending upon the jungler. Whether you're going to have a carry jungler or a bit more of a tank utility jungler, and we're kind of seeing that right now. Rookstout, kind of known to be a little bit more of a utility support jungler. He does his job. He's a really great frontliner, makes good decisions. Whereas Blitzkrieg was set up as being a little bit more of this carry jungler, taking some more of the resources, taking some risks, and being able to set himself up to carry. Blitzkrieg really showing himself in that role as bullet time goes down, gets Devious incredibly low. Devious likely going to have to back off. He is staying for now, which could be a little bit dangerous as the wave is rolling in. Devious probably needs to get out of here, otherwise he's going to get dove and dunked.
So interestingly enough, though, diving Renata is kind of tough. Oh, he might be dead, though. Okay, he's going to heal. All right, well, at least he didn't die. Diving Renata, what I was going to say, is kind of tough, because when that W comes down, you're actually going to start reviving, provided you died while the buff was active on you. And then if you get the takedown, you actually stay alive. So it is quite difficult, as we see a random Scion ult. This is
interesting. Bromanzilla able to dodge that knockup, but Blitzkrieg is there once again. Bromanzilla flashes out. He's going to be A-okay. Blitzkrieg, however, he is bloodthirsty and looking to do something. But in the meantime, Rookstout and Abarn trying to sneak out Rift Herald, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. It's either going to reset, or Blitzkrieg's going to roll in and just take it for himself. Oh, wow. Insult to injury. Abarn gets knocked up. He's going to get out of there. Rookstout is really, really low, though, and he's a little bit underleveled, and there is the Kane ulti. Rookstout pulling him into the danger zone. Will he be able to knock him out? Yes, he will, but he will pay for it with his life. There's a shutdown going down onto Abarn. That's exactly what Mariachi Mullets wants, and Abarn gets the double buff. Great play by Mariachi Mullets, able to make something happen. A little bit of an overextension from Blitzkrieg, trying to be credited as a flash comes in from Abarn, trying to lock up Verd, get some good poke down, but he's not going to be able to get the kill. Wave clear from Verd on the laser, forcing Abarn out. And the rest of the team, could we get the kill? Yes, we will. Devious from downtown.
You know,
Oh, that's double buff too, by the way.
that's
Devious
big.
just picked up that double buff.
You know, Dev's dad is I think a VP at the NBA. He was showing a little bit of hoop skills with that Ziggs ult, throwing it pretty darn far there to get the final kill onto Abarn. You love to see the coordination from what is a win con. And yeah, also ultimately really greedy by Blitzkrieg to take that fight, saved by some heroics from Verd, knowing that he can ult the wave, also hit Abarn while he had tower aggro, which dropped Abarn pretty darn low, and Dev gets the kill with the ult, and ultimately it means Blitzkrieg can, hey, I just respawn, and I'll just take this freaking Drake now. I dropped the Herald top, which I don't know if that was a misclick or not. That seems a little excessive. I think he probably didn't mean to do that, but it doesn't matter, right? Like, go bot. Now you have 2 Drakes. You got the Herald that you snuck from Rookstout, and you're massively ahead on this Kane. This is a great, great early game for what is a win con.
Yeah, what is a win con doing exactly what they wanted to do. And even if for whatever reason you can't count out, I gotta give Mariachi Mullets credit. Typically their macro is pretty solid mid into late game, but even with that, we said it before, we're probably gonna say it until the cows come home and these seeds are locked. Time matters. It's not about winning. It's about how quickly you win in order to secure that first round bye and being able to not show your hand in that quarterfinal best of 5. It's a massive advantage for the #1 and the #2 seed, as we see potentially a battle going down over a pink ward. IREP is just going to get out of there. He has no interest in that. Bullet time forcing a flash out from Worst Tactics NA as Rookstout and Blitzkrieg are in a battle. All of this battle is getting incredibly one-sided for Rookstout. Getting low, great use of the blast cone to get out of there. Bromanzilla is coming in to support, and Blitzkrieg looks like he's going to try and make a little bit of a great escape as the bot lane for what's a win con getting pushed under turret. You called it in Champion Select. That's exactly what Mariachi Mullets are doing. 20 CS lead on, 20 CS lead on the side of who is this? I can math. As IREP and who is this shove in. 2 kills on who is this, 3 kills on Devious. So as a tower dive happening on the top side, Bromanzilla gonna just buy as much time as he possibly can. There is definitely some trading going on, but Tokemon, you need to be careful. Otherwise, you are going to be on the wrong side of this 1v2. Bromanzilla, great job using the tower, using the distance to his advantage, and able to survive a very aggressive 1v2 attack. As Abarn is rooted, full Lux combo coming in, not going to be enough, and he's just going to chill and push.
Yeah, so ultimately a bit of a sloppy dive top, and it allows Rook to sort of escape and get some farm in the bot side. Critically, though, this game, you've seen a lot of aggression from Blitz. I don't want to lose sight of this. The vision from what is a win con has been fantastic. I mean, the entire bot side jungle was lit up, which signaled to everyone that, like, hey, bot lane can stay because Rook can't be here. Although now he is here, so I'm going to take a second to pause.
His ulti going in. There's the fleet. Great positioning by Rook,
oh,
but there
bomb.
Goes Rook. Gonna try to attack his teammates, and that is gonna hard disengage as Bromanzilla getting beat up by Blitzkrieg. Will this be the kill? Yes, it will. Will he get out? Yes, he will. 5-2-2 on this Kane. He is running away from this game, and he is almost over 3,000 gold ahead on his jungler. Yikes.
Yeah, he is an absolute terror in this game. Most gold in the game, I believe, by far. Oh, Verd is just sending a message to IREP. You know what? That's okay. I respect that. Yeah, you gotta just let him know that you are losing this game. You are 15 minutes in. You gotta win in 36. You're either gonna lose this game or you're gonna hurt your average. And that's what it's all about in this game if you're What to Win Con. Just send a little message. Play some spoiler.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic game though out of Blitz here. Like he's I don't know if he's hit the gym or what, but he is in peak form. He is lifting this entire team through this game. Not that everyone else isn't playing really well too, but he's playing darn well in this game.
Yeah, he really is, and he's just taking over the jungle and just suffocating Rook Stout. Abarn being pushed a little bit under turret. He's been Abarn's pretty solid in the mid lane. He definitely isn't going to get behind unless there's some kind of external factors. He's been farming away, doing what he does on Rise. Finished his first mythic alongside Verd, who also finished his Luden's Tempest. So the items, are starting to come out. Leander's Anguish being finished for the Ziggs. Eclipse on the side of the Misfortune. You called it. Hullbreaker as an ulti comes in from Bromanzilla. Looking to use that Hullbreaker to break down Tokemon. Tokemon getting incredibly low. He does not have any help. He is going to pop the Ornhorn. There will be the knockup, and Bromanzilla, you're fighting in a wave, dude. You got to be careful. Flash coming in. There's the kill. Good job from Bromanzilla using that item advantage.
Yeah, Hullbreaker is going to be ultimately a lot stronger for him when he's fighting with his own minions in that side lane. He gets insane value from it, and yeah, Toki just caught. He hadn't backed either. Just in a bad spot as we got a fight on Rookstout. He is very dead, but he gets the ult off.
He is very dead. Let's see what he can do before he dies. He's trying to push Devious out of this fight. Who is this, however, on a killing spree, and Blitzkrieg turn around, getting the kill onto Rookstout, and this fight is going to continue. Abram being forced out of this fight. Who is this? Going down, gets revived, and what's a win con continuing to steamroll through. However, Devious and Worst Tactics going down. Verd and Blitzkrieg able to clean this up as Dragon is up, and I'm pretty sure Blitzkrieg's just going to solo kill that one, unless he's going for the tower dive. And who is this?
Hey, send a message.
Will he get the kill onto him? Yes, he will. He's tanky enough. He's going to get the shutdown. That is wonderful to see, and let's see. No, not going to go for the Dragon. I think we're done for a little while. What do you think?
Blitz just absolutely murked that man, and it's a huge shutdown. That was a 400 bonus gold. That is just extra lunch money for the bully, because he is absolutely on top of his game right now. Who is this? His mom sent him with extra money today, and Blitz just fucking yoinked it. Sorry, excuse my language. Blitz just yoinked it, and absolutely is fed out of his head right now. If we could get a gold check right here. Yeah,
well,
9,000
That's $5 in the swear
gold.
jar, by
That's
the way. You have to sub to the channel now. So sorry, man.
I'm already a prime sub, but you guys can all be too, by the way, if you guys want to pay my fine dues.
Yeah, sorry. TCL. Oh, I've just gotten in from the commissioner. You are being fined for foul use of language. As a knockup goes up onto Abarn. Lux ulti is not going to be enough. Abarn going to get pretty low. Ornhorn trying to knock him out. Not going to be enough. So let's see. Are they going to siege, or are they going to try and take another global objective? Pokemon doing a little bit of dance. And they are going to back off, and it looks like it's going to be the Herald for what's a win con, continuing to push the tempo. Only about 1,000 gold up, 18 minutes into the game, as a Cyan Ulti rolls in. Bromanzilla trying to tank two different people, but they are in a bit of a pinched situation. The Mariachi Mullets are. Devious and Worst Tactics throwing out whatever pokes they can. Pokemon trying to knock Rookstout around. Pokemon getting low. He is unstoppable, but will he stay alive? Rookstout and Blitzkrieg in another battle, but Abarn rolling in from the top rope. Rookstout getting the kill. He is still going to get low, and he's going to try and 1v1 Verd. That ain't going to work. Verd on a killing spree. A lot of members of what's a win con incredibly low. Still a 1-for-1. Blitzkrieg and Rookstout both going down, but will Pokemon go down as well? Does get the knock-up. There's the dunk. There's the kill. IREP able to get him. Wish that had gone on Misfortune, but that's A-okay. That's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Mariachi Mullets. They're going to grab the Rift-Tailed, and we are dead even in gold.
Yeah, Bromanzilla just parted the Red Sea there with that ult, and it was kind of giant. It looks like a big miss, but actually half of what's a win con broke up, and the other half broke down, and what resulted was a really split fight. Blitz dying without getting his ultimate off was pretty huge there, but also you can see how hard it is to play these mages when you don't have your entire team standing in front of you, right? Their damage patterns are skill shots. They're linear, right? When they're split in these fights, they're just not going to be able to compete with the Hecarim, with the Scion, with any of these champions. We got an awesome fight here.
Beautiful knock-up on two people. Those two people are the carries. Who is this going down and absolutely melting? Abarn soon to follow. Shut down, counter shutdown onto Abarn, and Blitzkrieg continues his Blitzkrieg of this team as Rookstout tries to sneak a red buff out of his own jungle. What's a win con? Rest of the team trying to take down this mid-outer turret.
Yeah, as we got this is going to be a fight on Rook. I don't know if Rook can...
Yeah, it certainly is. Rookstout does have help, though. Blitzkrieg really feeling himself right now, and he's going to try and go for the kill. Rookstout going to be able to get out of there, but Blitzkrieg will not be stopped.
Oh my
Getting
God.
the fadeaway kill. Oh, the max range sight. He is the Reaper, and the Mariachi Mullet's time has come, and he's just loving every second of it, and honestly, I'm loving watching it.
Yeah, he's just playing super aggressive. There is almost no way he can overextend. He is so far ahead with the Gore Drinker and the Muramana already complete. He can just keep ulting on repeat. As we got Dev potentially caught here, but nah, his dad is here. He's here to beat you up.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
Jarvan
rooted
there. Maybe not, as who is this able to get a double kill? Beautiful bullet time for him. Rook
Alright,
Stout once again getting knocked around in his own jungle. When your own jungle isn't safe, what a horrible feeling. Rook Stout doing his best to try and extend this fight. Tokimon a little bit overextended, as who is this? Continues to push. They say, get off my lawn, get out of my jungle. And Mariachi Mullet with almost a clean ace, 4 for nothing against What's a Win Con.
It's 5
and
for
Rook
nothing.
Stout looking to make it 5. Worst tactics, NA trying to get away. Bromanzilla, can he do it? He's going to go for the kill. Is he going to get it? He's going to get away, but that is going to be Rift Herald down mid outer, probably mid inner, and Mariachi Mullets hitting the gas. They're on a schedule, y'all.
Yeah, Blitzkrieg just got caught with the root, and as a consequence, great root by Abron, by the way. The Rune Prison comes through, and he can't get the ult off his root.
Yeah, and they're done.
All right, he's inting. He's inting. What are you doing, man? You can't be there. He's just got to play a little bit slower. He's playing so overconfident on this Kayn. Now, that's 2 really bad deaths that are going to cost quite a few kills on outer turrets and the Baron. One thing, though, this is so smart by Mariachi Mullets. They're backing now rather than just rushing Baron, because first off, there's 4 champions up. But second, you have Infernal Soul in 30 seconds. That means a hell of a lot more than anything else that can happen here. Even if you get the Baron, even if you're winning, you lose that soul, you still probably feel worse for wear in the whole game. So really smart by them to just say, you know what, let's back and contest this.
Yeah, that's a really solid team decision by Mariachi Mullets. You saw them all back almost simultaneously. So you know the comms were saying, hey, don't worry about Baron, give Baron, Drake's coming up, it's soul point, let's fight. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Abron coming in from the backside, gonna be locking up Verd. Verd is going to get low, Verd is going to go down. There he goes, Rook Stout getting the kill. IREF not to be stopped, pushes Devious out, forcing the flash. And this is going to be a messy split fight. Devious going out on the right side, Bromanzilla getting low on the left side. Blitzkrieg taking out Bromanzilla, Rook Stout getting low. Tokimon trying to finish him off. Is he going to go down? He will. Yes, he will. Worst Tactics NA finally able to knock him out. That's going to be a double kill for who is this? And Blitzkrieg is on the run. Another 4 for 2. 4 champions down for What's a Win Con. Blitzkrieg didn't end this time. He's still alive, but unfortunately, the rest of his team is not. And Mariachi Mullets need to get this dragon off the map, but Blitzkrieg has something to say about that. He's going in 3 people. That is a shutdown. However, that is a counter shutdown. That is a dead smite, and IREP, and who is this bot lane, says, don't worry, we got you covered. No soul point for you. What's a Win Con?
I think Blitz kind of rushed that. They couldn't take the Drake because Rook was dead, right? So Blitz could have just sat outside the pit the longer he wanted to and threatened that smite secure, because no one on Mariachi Mullets had smite, and he had Tokimon Panda coming up with teleport. I think that was a bit of a blunder. He nearly killed Avarn, and the Gore Drinker almost put him back up. But ultimately just couldn't quite survive. I couldn't tell, maybe his ultimate came back up and he was just rooted and couldn't use it. But either way, bit of a blunder there. Mariachi Mullets stave off soul, and you got to feel like the momentum has completely shifted in their favor now. The gold lead is now 2,000 in their favor, and barring What's a Win Con getting a team fight win and getting that soul, I don't know how they come back in here. Their comp is not very good from behind.
No, it really is not, and it is a small gold lead, about 1,500 in favor of Mariachi Mullets, but a lot of times that is all they need. You give them an inch, they take a mile, and What's at WinCon definitely took their foot off the gas. Verd going fishing, getting some decent poke, actually not a whole lot onto Rook Stout, and the scaling of the Mariachi Mullets starting to take effect. Rise getting rolling, and you know, cannot discount the fact that Scion is a very, very beefy boy, and he is continuing to scale with that health. Items continuing to be finished. And despite who is this with the misfortune falling off a little bit, Mariachi Mullets well within the average win time that they need. What was, just to double check and remind our viewers,
36:46 is what I'm being told is the number.
So they have I'm gonna say T minus 11 minutes to win this game, and that is plenty of time for them. They need one good fight, one good global objective, and they could absolutely do that.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Pickles on Pizza or Blood Monies, you're saying, guys, I don't care if you lose, just slow down, because they're forcing these fights that are just sloppy. Right, they're sloppy. There's no other way. They're trying to fight over this Baron river control right now, while mid lane is pushed all the way to inhib. I mean, it's just sloppy setup from What's a Win Con. They need to play it a little bit slower, and they have this game still. Like, they are still in a very winnable position from this game. You just peel your backline and Blitz pops off. They were damn near winning that Drake fight, which went pretty darn wrong for them. Off of a great flash from Abarn, actually, Blitzkrieg narrowly didn't kill him there. So, you know, I think it's still very much winnable for What's a Win Con. They just have to slow down.
They really do, and I'm not gonna lie. Every time you say blitz, I assume that it's a blitzcrank.
Blitzcrank,
so
yeah.
Absolutely. I've been making that mistake in my brain all day.
Yeah, it's
and I
tough.
completely agree. What's a win con needs to slow down. Blitzkrieg, we said it before. He was really feeling himself, but unfortunately, if you drive too fast, you drive too fast. You sometimes you do some cool stuff. Sometimes you drive off the road. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Interesting situation. Pokemon Panda getting absolutely shredded by who is this? Abarn is gonna Blitzkrieg's gonna return the favor onto Abarn. Blitzkrieg, however, getting incredibly low, and that's gonna be a double kill. Ira on the other side, getting low, pulling good aggro, but he is gonna get sniped long range by Verd.
The horny bomb!
There's the ulti. The Renata ult is gonna hard disengage. So that is all told 2 for 2. No real advantage one way or the other. However, Mariachi Mullet's picking up that top outer turret.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that was a really weird fight that ends 2 for 2. IREP getting a little caught there. You can see the downside of him taking these greedy barrier ignite summoner spells. It's very easy to catch him on this Jarvan. He's got the EQ, but that's kind of it. It works for his playstyle a lot, but that's kind of the downside of it. And yeah, you can see how effective this Renata is becoming. The champ is really coming online. It is impossible not impossible, but very freaking difficult to chase What is a Win Con into a quarter, because that Renata ult comes through and all of a sudden you're hitting your best friend, right? It's like that scene in Lion King where Mufasa's on the edge and begging Scar for help. Like, you just all of a sudden this MF turns and conks you with a 12 and 2 damage. It feels awful. It's the most tilting thing on the planet. If you've ever played against it in solo queue.
All of my childhood trauma is coming back, so thank you for that.
My bad.
You're good. Lion King, great movie, but man,
that dark scene, it's a narrative arc. That is peak Disney right there.
Absolutely,
peak Disney. They go through the lows.
Yep. This stream brought to you by Disney Plus. Once again, Soul Point still for What's a Win Con. And as the Baron is started for the Mariachi Mullets, Blitzkrieg is there. Let's see if he's going to have a little bit more patience on this, or if he's going to walk into 3 people and fight again. That's what he's been doing recently. So they need to be a little bit careful. They peeled off a little bit. Now they're back on. The rest of the What's a Win Con is there. Blitzkrieg, you're a little bit early, bud. You need to be careful. They're trying to stall as best as they can, but the entirety of Mariachi Mullets is there. He gets the steal, though. What a great play by Blitzkrieg. Flashing out. Gives him the old see you later. Thanks for the Baron. And Dragon Soul Point is up. What's a Win Con? Great priority there. But we do have a fight going on into the bot river. Death coming down. Who is this legendary decent Ziggs ult, able to knock Romanzilla fairly low. So we have another split fight. Pokemon Panda tanking 4 people on his own. Double kill though from who is this? And all told, Rook Stout looking for another engage. That is going to be a 2 for 0 in favor of the Mariachi Mullets. Blitzkrieg starting the Dragon up.
I think this is Soul. This is really good. Really
they gotta go for it, and they have great priority here. Will they be able to pick it up?
They got it.
They will. That is Soul. That is Baron. What's a Win Con in the driver's seat? They could win this game 1.
Yeah, they're in an insane spot. Rook Stout did not have smite as the fight is continuing here. This is crazy.
Oh my goodness, the fight is certainly continuing.
God.
Great snare on the side of Bird, locking 2 people up. Blitzkrieg doing what he does best. Another max range scythe. He is chasing people down. Devious does not have his ulti. He is not going to be able to smite although this is coming back up. We're settling down, and it looks like we are going to have a prolonged siege with Baron and Infernal Soul coming down the mid lane.
Yeah, you know, even if Mariachi Mullets pulls this out now, this is starting to look pretty long. But yeah, I don't know that that's even on the table anymore, because What is a Win Con now has Baron and Infernal Soul. Critical mistake by who is this at that Baron, pulling out the MF ult to try to kill Blitz in the pit. As Blitzkrieg is going to fight here, but it should be nothing that comes of this. I mean, maybe there is. He does a lot of damage.
Yeah, when you can walk through walls, it's kind of unfair. This is beautiful flanking from him, and loving the long siege. You've got a Lux and a Ziggs. That's got to be a lot of fun. The only downside, look at Lux. Oh, Verd out of mana. Unlucky. That blue buff still up with all of the Chaos. Verd not able to pick it up. And so, you know, it definitely, sometimes it's the little things as Blitzkrieg picks up the red buff.
Yeah, so what I want to say real quick before we get too far removed from it, who is this pulled out the MF ult to try to kill the contesting Blitzkrieg in the Baron pit? And what that did actually was burst the Baron to like 2,000 or sub 2,000 HP, which meant Blitz could actually just turn and take it when he came out of the ult from Kane. So huge mistake there as he's a monster. I mean, he's so fed. Meanwhile, though, 4-stack mid. Verd is in trouble.
4-stack mid, hard dive for IREP under the mid inhibitor turret. Who is this legendary? And it looks like Mariachi Mullets, they saw tut, time's up. Time to go get our win. We got a train to catch.
Ooh, not anymore. All right.
Hey, okay, that's good inhibitor turret. You can very much see that Mariachi Mullets is trying to push the tempo. You know they've got the clock on their minds.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to push it there. That was a big shot call there out of A-Barn. Obviously sucks that Bromanzilla's caught in the bot side, but say, hey, we see Ornn in the side lane. We see the one that we're scared of the most. We see Blitz killing our top laner. Let's just 4-stack mid, dive Verd, and take the inhib. You know, really quick shot calling, and you can see that cohesiveness from them is why they're up here fighting for the top of the standings.
They certainly are, and they have T-minus 4 minutes in order to maintain that spot on top of the standings. Death timers are getting longer. The gold, however, staying dead even despite the Soul and Baron. And credit to Mariachi Mullets. I gotta call it out. Mariachi Mullets were facing down Baron and Soul, and they're the one who took an inhibitor.
Yeah.
Flex.
It's just good shot calling, right? I gotta call something out real quick though as we get into this fight. I highlighted a Jarvan build earlier. That's not what IREP's done. I don't know what he did with this build. This is horrendous. As we got a fight in the mid lane.
Yes, we do. Rook Stout going in, trying to make something happen. However, the friendly fire is in full effect.
Wow.
Bird explodes. A-Barn, worst tactics NA, having to force out IREP, doing his best, but it is not enough. Blitzkrieg, double kill. Blitzkrieg running away with it. Blitzkrieg trying to hunt down the tanky Scion. And Blitzkrieg, you better stop chasing those kills. I know they're fun, but your team has a game to win as the rest of his team rolls down mid. Could be Blitzkrieg trying to stop the backs as he gets another long-range knock, and the push continues. Mid-inhibitor turret going down, the inhibitor soon to follow.
Yeah, I think this is probably the game. Ziggs is a champion that can basically destroy these turrets in 2 seconds, and you can see Zilla knows that. That's why he's trying to port, but this is a Kane, man. You're not getting out of here.
Wonderful knock-up from Blitzkrieg. There's the ace. And this is going to be game 1. What's a win con? Leaning into their spoiler role and knocking off the Mariachi Mullets for game 1. We got a series, bully.
Dang, that's a big statement out of Blitz and the boys. What a huge win for them. They did it exactly the way you thought this team always could, right? Blitzkrieg is, I believe, the highest ranked player in this entire league. He's a beast, right? And here you kind of saw it. He absolutely tore through. It looks like, sorry, damage numbers are messed up, so we might not get those this game. But all you need to know, Kane did a lot, okay? And he absolutely pathed in from level 1, took the Raptors, went over the wall, won the smite fight on the red buff. It's always a lot easier to take those two when you're the one that's going for it, because you got to figure there's no way Rook is expecting the Kane to just walk through his wall and smite the red buff away. A little bit of some really just impressive and bold gameplay decisions from Blitz. I love it when you're a team playing in this role with nothing to lose. Just freaking shoot your shot, man. And that's what he did, and he won them the game.
Yeah, he played so well, and we'll have to see if What's a Win Con is going to be able to keep this momentum rolling and actually knock the Mariachi Mullets out of a first round bye. We're going to take a break, go get some water, go get some snacks, go to the bathroom, but do not go anywhere because we have got a barn burner on our hands. Let's see what happens in game 2. What will Mariachi Mullets do to adjust? Don't go anywhere. And we are back. Game one. We're still catching our breath from game one. What's a win con setting themselves up for the upset, embracing their spoiler role, knocking out Mariachi Mullets in game one. However, it is a best of three series, so we definitely have to see Jaws alongside Bully. And as the team set up for game two, let's talk a little bit more about that game one, Bully, because Blitzkrieg, absolutely the star, really took over that game. But what's a win con? They took their foot off the gas for a split second. Well, actually, not. I'm not going to call it a split second because they definitely threw some of those fights.
It was a bit of
But they
time.
definitely it got a little dicey there, and Mariachi Mullet's showing how dangerous they are if they are given the opportunity to come back.
Yeah, Mariachi Mullets definitely look like the more coordinated team, but what you saw there was Blitzkrieg actually just dominating the game from start to mostly finish. Like what happened to Blitz, I think, is what happens to a lot of players when they get that fed on a carry champion like Kane. You just have a little bit too much fun. You test your limits a little bit too far. He died. He threw the game a little bit. But you know what? He ended it the same way he started it. He started it by eating through the wall and smiting away Rook's buff. He ended it eating through the wall and smiting away the Baron buff from Rook. So huge freaking gameplay out of him. If you want to win and you're what's a win con looking to play spoiler, that's how you do it.
Yeah, that was exactly what they needed to do. And the main thing that I'm looking for is what are they going to do with that lead? Because yeah, just because you're fed in League of Legends does not mean you are invincible. And we saw a lot of Blitzkrieg 1v3s, and with the way that comeback mechanics work in the game, feeding that shutdown gold, setting the team up to get objective bounties. Mariachi Mullets took that, ran with it, and I just wanted to point out that even with Soul and Baron, What's a Win Con wasn't able to break the Mariachi Mullets base, and Mariachi Mullets were the ones that ended up taking that first inhibitor. So I'm expecting some serious adjustments in champion select in game two, maybe taking that Kane off the table, or the Renata, as we
Yeah.
had mentioned, doing a lot of work and, maybe being a little overshadowed by the flashy Kane play, but doing a lot, and especially as a newer champion, maybe not having that same level of comfort to play against.
Right. I think Renata could quickly become a power pick in the series because I know IREP plays a lot of it too. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're willing to pick it because I think willingness to play around a new champion like Renata is a big part of it. It's not just individual comfort, it's saying, like, hey, is my team comfortable with playing around this? Because it is very new. It plays differently than pretty much every other support. It plays almost like an enchanter in lane, but scales completely differently. You could see, though, just how darn effective it was because in
Mhm.
that game, that ult came through, and MF's ult was basically off every time. It canceled. I can't even remember how many MF ults, so it was really
Yeah.
good to watch.
As well as the Rook engages. Rook is the kind
Okay.
of jungler who likes to engage. There's the Kane ban. They don't want to deal with that again. Aurelia, the first ban off the table, aimed squarely at A-Barn's forehead. Trundle off the table as well. And it
Yeah.
looks like we're going to see maybe a couple of adjustments, but overall similar bans. But that Kane ban,
Yeah, I love
yeah,
that.
that's some respect where
I
they
love
they
that.
know they got bodied pretty hard.
So one thing I want to say for Mariachi Mullet's credit is they have been by far the best team at adapting to drafts, in my opinion, the entire season. They change their game two bans quite frequently. Like even off of wins, this is obviously an easy one to say, like, hey, something's got to shift because what we just did wasn't working. But
Yeah.
this one here is just a highlight of that. Like ban this Kane. You know they picked it last time, and he looked pretty darn effective on it. Uh, I think it's good into Rooksout's champion pool too. I don't know that you get a better matchup, even if you start thinking like, hey, in what way can we counter it? And it only goes one way as well. So ban that. The Hecarim ban as well coming out because now they're red side, so they have to
Oh,
pick
but
that ban up.
Viego's up.
And yeah, Viego slipped through here. I don't
Mhm.
think Rookstout plays it. So if they pick it quickly, I would be pretty upset. I would try to get it in the first three, but other than that, I wouldn't hard force the pick here. I think Ziggs is good here. Yeah,
Yeah, Ziggs is great. Hey, Devious, we didn't even talk about Devious. Devious had a
absolute
great
beast.
Ziggs
Yeah.
game. He had some wonderful long range snipes. He did a good job laying down the damage.
Ooh.
Ziggs can be a very straightforward champion, but has a lot of complexity, especially with his rubber ducky. In the case of pool party Ziggs, Devious doing his job, and that bot lane really matching up well as the Mordekaiser is grabbed for Bromanzilla. Bit of a
Yeah.
change of pace from the Scion, and as you mentioned, Mariachi Mullets something to say. There is such a thing as a win you're not satisfied with, where you say, hey, we won, but we shouldn't have won this game. So making those small adjustments based on the quality of the win, not just the fact that you won, right? That's process-based thinking. And so that definitely seems to be what we're seeing on the side of Mariachi Mullets as a
Oh,
completely different
okay.
look
I like
for
this.
their team comp. Pike being grabbed for IREP in the support.
So I think IREP has looked great on the Pike. I don't know that you necessarily had to pick it here. I think you could have saved IREP's pick and eaten 2 bans on the other side because you saw their willingness to ban out IREP's core champions that weren't Pike before. But you know what? It's a good look for them. It allows IREP to be so darn mobile. And
There
there's
it
the
is.
Viego. This champion, I know a lot of teams in this league in particular. I've talked to captains about this. Like banning this champion away from any Viego player on site because the champ is just so darn tilting when he gets ahead, right? This
Yeah,
champion gets those resets through, and the game feels so freaking hopeless. The champ is one of the most snowbally champions in the game, as we have Kench. That could be a flex.
it very well could be. It's a Kench top, right? Top or support.
Yeah, so it could be
Or
top or support. I'm not sure. I think we've seen Tactics play it already. It's definitely much more considered a support now, but I know
Mhm.
Tokimon is a big fan of Kench top lane.
Oh, interesting. So we could see some. We're definitely going to see some new looks. The
Oh,
Ziggs being the only carryover
oh.
pick.
Okay, so this is interesting.
All right,
So
and
Jace,
just a real quick note. Just a quick PSA. Once again, if you would like to be in our game two analyst desk, help us while away the 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Feel free to jump in LOL one right now. I believe. Oh no, actually, we already have someone. So Rudy will be joining us at the conclusion of this champion select. So
yeah,
thank you all for your interest. And if we have
Rudy,
a game three, it's
we'll get
all
you in.
yours. Jace is grabbed. We are not getting any notes that that is a bug. That is an intentional
No, that's
Jace pick.
intentional. So
All
that's
right.
interesting though, because what we've seen so far, maybe they're saying the Mordekaiser's enough AP. We can opt for an AD matchup mid. And maybe this is Abarn just saying, like, look, Verd plays pretty standard mages. Give me something like the Jace that I can just beat the hell out of him with, right? Um, I don't know about that, but I think this is that's a weird Diana ban because you got to figure you've seen. I don't think Rook plays that jungle, but anyway.
Well, he
What's
might.
interesting
I
is
mean, every
what
doesn't
the
everybody
interesting
play
part
Jungle
here.
Diana right now? She's pretty
A
strong.
little bit, yeah, a little bit. I don't know. That just doesn't scream a Rook pick to me. But the thing I want to say is the only mage we've seen them reach for so far has been the Ziggs AD carry. Ziggs is not on the table now. It's picked by what is WinCon. So it's going to be interesting now. We get to see a new look out of who is this. Maybe he does go for an AD and they just say, you know what, we've got enough AP with the Mordekaiser plus whatever Rook plays, which might actually be why they banned the Diana and the Lilia. Okay, so that's what they're seeing. They're saying like, hey, let's ban some AP junglers
Hmm.
so that we can cut AP out of their comp. You know they're going to go for something here in that vein. I wonder if we could see maybe Elise or something in that realm. I think Elise is pretty horrible in the current meta, but maybe
Yeah,
that's
we'll
what they're
see.
reaching for.
Well, that's the thing is they gotta. I would go with comfort. There's the Sejuani, so there's your
Okay,
answer.
that's a strong
Shout
two
out.
v two.
By the way, shout out to our producer who called Lilia before any of us did, and then immediate ban. So rip. Sejuani being picked out for Rook Stout. And yeah, we've definitely got a little bit of a kind of a CG split pushy pickoff comp with the Pike and the Mordekaiser split push.
Yeah.
But Sejuani brings the team fight. So
Oh,
there's
Renata
and
again.
there's okay,
Okay, so this
Renata
is
once
top
again.
Kench. So
Yep.
this confirms top lane Kench. It's going to be interesting to see if this is a mid pick for Verd, because if it is, they've completely used if it isn't rather, they've used this Ziggs pick to perfection because they ate 2 bans on the back half here going at Verd. If Verd just says, you know what, Ziggs is better than anything else I'll play, let's put Dev on an AD. Oh no, is he going to go Vel'Koz?
Okay.
All right, that's a Verd pick right there. Let's see Verd
Okay. Let's
Vel'Koz.
go. Let's see some
All
geometry.
right. Okay.
All
So this
right.
is the same style comp again. All their AD is in the Blitzkrieg basket. It is a top lane tank for Tokimon, once again, a Tom Kench, which is a champ he's super comfortable with. And I actually think, even though the champ's been nerfed for the solo lane, it's a pretty darn good matchup into Mord. It's just hard for Mord to ever find kill threat versus that, as we have a Vigar. So this is Vigar AD carry. This is Vigar Pike bot lane for who is this? Vigar, one of the highest win rate 80 carries actually in the current meta, has been for a bit, and I think the champ is
Okay.
pretty effective. I think this is going to be a little bit of a tough matchup. I think this gives a lot more pressure in lane, too devious and worse tactics than they had last game. Obviously, last game we saw them just shoved in on repeat, and that could be a little dangerous, especially when you have a good jungler like Blitz to play with. But interesting nonetheless.
Yes, and we are now joined by Mr. Rudy of the Blood Monies. Rudy, first impressions on these team compositions.
I gotta say, I really like the 2v2 matchup top for the Mariachi Mullets. You know, the melee lanes with the Sejuani always really, really strong in the ganks. But I don't expect IREP is going to be in lane ever. He is going to be all over this map and doing whatever he can to close this game out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And you know what, Rudy, we've seen the rise of kind of the Renata in this series. How long till we see you pick up the Renata?
Okay, is that a meme? You know, Speedy has been yelling at me to play that champion for the past 3
I
weeks.
didn't know
And
that.
I played it twice, so I knew what the champion did, and I'm not touching it. It is not my style.
Not a
No,
Rudy champ.
no,
All right,
Not
got
in
it.
the slightest. Why would I
You heard
need
it
that
here first,
when I can
folks.
just play Rakan and like bully the entire league?
Plus, when
That's
you
true.
play
And also
Rakan,
thematically, you know, I like the Zaya Rakan. It looks good. You get the extra animations. It's a lot more fun. So I totally get that.
and you know what, when you play Rakan like you do too, and find those like 4-man engages, you probably make their team fight each other anyway. So what do you need the Renata ult for?
Hey, bully, bless your heart for only remembering the 4-man engages. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, dude. No problem. Yeah. So I definitely agree with you though. I want to see IREP get the hell out of bot lane. I think that's
Mhm.
kind of a pretty good look for him. Where? So you said you want to see him play more towards top, or are you thinking more towards
I
mid?
think he's gonna play around Rook. He really will. There's no reason for him to bot. I mean, sure you can pull into the Vigar cage and like maybe get the 2v2 kill, but as we saw last game, the Ziggs Renata is a pretty safe lane, and they played it really well. Tactics looking really comfortable on that champion. Obviously the ult not the most useful thing pre-level 1, and that game didn't go long enough for us to see like the real damage as it scales. But you have like the throwing of the throwing one champion into another did a great job, just like zoning them out and making sure they didn't get engaged on, which against the Jarvan, like they did a great job. I expect to see many dunks into MF ults and then just shredding them down there. So they did a great job. Shout out Devin Tactics for that game one. Although
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, Blitzkrieg, that was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, he really kind of stole the show. And just a quick reminder, so Rudy, we're going to ask for your prediction for those of you watching at home. If you scroll a little bit below this stream, you're going to see an option to choose what's a win con or, Mariachi Mullets, and take your pick. And Rudy, we're going to ask you, and all of us are going to make our picks. Rudy, who do you think is going to take this game to?
Oh, it's gotta be what's a win con. Are you kidding me? We
I'm
haven't even
all with
mentioned it.
you.
We haven't even mentioned it, but Pokemon's on that Tom Kench in the
Yeah.
top lane. I mean, that's his favorite cheese pick after
He
Teemo, you
loves
know?
this thing.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be insane. I'm so excited. I'm more excited for this game than I was last night when we like were 1-1 and had our playoffs or had our top 2 versus 4th place guaranteed on the line.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm with you calling the upset here. I think Mariachi Mullet's looked a little more coordinated, but what's a win con,
They're
man?
always gonna be. That's
Their
the thing.
comp again is so built for it though. They've
The-
got the Blitz 1v9 champion here.
Their
So
win con
true,
is don't let the
Rudy.
other team play the game they want to, and I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely, Rudy. So thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna toss you back over into Law 1. Rudy, ladies and gentlemen, a winner, 2-1 for the Blood Monies. What's a win con? Looking to push the Blood Monies into a first round bye in the quarterfinals. Going to be able to hold their cards a little closer to their chest, not having to play an extra best of 5. Mariachi Mullets, their backs are against the wall. They lose this, they are guaranteed. I believe they are guaranteed a 3rd seed.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's going to be number 1 and number 2 for Blood Monies and Pickles on Pizza. Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm kind of rooting for what's a win con as well. Although I will always root for more League of Legends. So I am a bit torn, but I gotta say I'm loving the Mariachi Mullets. Excuse me, not the Mariachi Mullets. What's a win con? It really feels like they found their identity in this series, and it's wonderful to watch.
Yeah, look at this, right? This is really them finding their own type of comp. We were a little skeptical at first. At least I know I was, and Blood voiced the same sort of skepticism about the double mages. But you know what? It's looking solid. We've talked about how it enables Blitzkrieg on these champions that are kind of bruiser E and doing the bulk of the AD for his team. It allows him to be this mono AP carry threat that I think is really advantageous for a team built this way.
Ooh, will we have ships passing in the night, or will we have a level 1 fight?
This is really, really bad for what's a win con. The Sejuani plus Mordekaiser plus Jace level 1 is insane here. Seems like they kind of know it's coming, though.
Devious, will we check the brush, please? Please check
I
the
think
brush.
he's going to.
Yeah, he
Yes!
does. All right, he knows they're there. Get out of there, boys.
Hey! Look at that. That's the second time we've seen Blitzkrieg with really good level 1 awareness, right? He knew exactly where Joa Rook Stout was starting last game and did the same thing again this game, right? Like, he said, I guarantee he or someone on his team is saying, let's throw the Ziggs bomb in here and check, right? You can see he was sort of the first one to stop and say, wait, guys, let's not turn this corner. There could be a Sejuani with friends in that brush. You love to see it.
Oh, yeah, you really do. Blue start for the Sejuani, and then red start for the Viego, so thwarting Mariachi Mullet's attempted reverse level 1. Trying to get a little bit of revenge, but now we're going to be settling in. A little bit of poke coming down in the mid lane. The usual slaps in the top lane, and some surprising damage from Togemon.
Yeah, the Tom Kench is going to hurt in these early lanes, especially with the grass proc. One thing I want to highlight for him, too, he ran Ignite. He is playing for the full cheese TP Ignite Tom Kench, trying to kill Bromanzilla, catch him maybe not understanding or appreciating how much this Tom Kench can really do. And you know what? Let's see how practiced he is on this champion, because I don't think he's played it so far in TCL. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is his first time picking it up, and it was definitely, especially when it first got reworked into a solo laner, a champion Pokemon was super excited to play.
Yeah, it definitely matches his style. I don't know if it's been played in the TCL, but I think you had mentioned before it's a champion that he enjoys playing, and maybe it's a bit of a pocket pick. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check his op.gg. Hashtag not a sponsor. As we see first, gank coming in. Abarn definitely out of position. He is the Jace. He does have his flash up. He's going to be able to get out of there. Does get the ignite, but a great long range geometry. Maybe not. Yo, can we just call out that beautiful Sidewinder Q from Verd, setting Blitzkrieg up.
Clean by Verd. Verd loves his Vel'Koz, and you can see why. It's such a good champion for him. He's great at angling those Qs just around the wave, as it looks like we have a gank in the top lane.
Yes, we certainly do. Rook Stout looking to take advantage of the flashless.
Get out of there!
Panda
oh, not
does
quite.
get the cancel, and Pokemon Panda is in deep trouble and is probably going to be 6 feet under. He's just going to try and last as long as he possibly can. Oh boy, this is why Tom Kench is a bit of a troll. Rook Stout, however, taking the kill.
Yeah, just caught a little bit too far out. You can see why he runs the Ignite instead of the Flash. Feels safe using that Tom Kench W to get away. But unfortunately, just, it is a long cast time. And what happens when you've got a Mordekaiser and a Sejuani running at you is there's a lot of CC to cancel it. And that's exactly what they do there, just barely, I believe, at the end of the cast. Gets caught with maybe a little bit too far up in lane.
Yeah, and they are looking to punish that. Great play by Rook Stout. Heads up, because Togemon was in that brush. Rook Stout dropping the ward, immediately seeing what was happening, saving his CC. But a bit of a kill lead for Verd as we see another skirmish happening. IREP trying to get out of there. He is low, but he is going to stick around, actually.
Tactics
and is going to continue to take poke. So we'll see if that is going to get punished. As who is this? Continues to push up as Veigar. Wow! Big damage coming down onto Worst Tactics.
Yeah, man, he pathed a little bit greedily there around the wall. You saw Devious taking the safer path back, saying, hey, wave is crashing at our tower. We don't have to walk this way. Tactics just a little bit of a mistake there, getting himself caught, eating a big chunk of damage. That's going to really hurt in what should be a shoving bot lane. As we got Blitz now jumping Abarn here in the jungle.
Yeah, he is. Could he get the second kill out of 2? Abarn going to be able to get away. Rook Stout trying to draw some of that aggro. He is a big, beefy Sejuani.
Ooh, ping's coming out. Here's bot lane.
Oh, yes, he is. The rest of Mariachi Mullets converging onto the mid lane. Not sure if they're going to do anything. Baby Cage is there, but who is this? Not in range. And the rest of Mariachi Mullets still sitting around and trying to make Blitzkrieg's jungle their own.
Yeah, they're going to lose some time with the wave for this. This should be a pretty big miss for them. I can't tell if that's a Cannon Wave bot or not.
Interesting
but
choice.
It is going to be a lot of XP. Yeah, it's not. So that's a lot of XP lost for that roam.
Yeah, and meanwhile, just as a
that.
heads note, while this is happening in the top lane, Togemon took a ton of damage, actually W'd in off camera.
Yeah.
got himself caught in a really bad trade, got chased out, and Blitzkrieg trying to make something happen, but nothing there as he continues to go for vision control. Let's see if he sticks around.
Ooh. So Bromanzilla just hit level 6, which means this is a lot harder now for Blitzkrieg. At any point, if you go in, Bromanzilla can just say, nah, this is a 1v1, right? And he's 1v1ing you when you don't. Oh, I really don't like this call.
There's the knock-up, and there's the stun, and
he grabbed the catch.
Come on.
He grabbed the catch. It's a big mistake.
The Devourer.
Oh, no.
Will it be enough? Will he be able to knock him out? Yes, he will. Blitzkrieg getting the kill. But on the other side of the map, Mariachi Mullets going and taking down the first dragon. I'm not sure if What's a WinCon can contest.
You can't grab the Kench there. Kench has 6. This is why this matchup is so good for Kench. You ult him, and there's just 0 kill threat anyway, because he just turns and eats you back, and you sit there in the Death Realm kind of just not able to do any damage to an already extremely tanky champion. Definitely needed to ult the pre-6 Viego there, because I think he might have been able to kill him. Or, if nothing else, ult the Viego and just walk the hell away. Right? You have your tower right there. You can get to tower, but just a big mistake from Bromanzilla means that What's a WinCon gets a gank that they probably shouldn't otherwise get. And what could have just been a free Drake is now a Drake for a 1-for-1 and a building lead again for Blitzkrieg on a real hyper carry.
And not just for Blitzkrieg, but also for Pokemon Panda, starting to get a bit of a CS lead. Both top laners with a death and an assist to their names. First components of the items starting to come out. We've got a Bomby Cinder on the side of Pokemon. We've got Blasting Wand and Doran's from the start, as well as some booties for Bromanzilla. Looks like Bromanzilla really looking to take that AP damage to the next level as Rook Stout hovering around the immobile bird. Barrier immediately going down, is able to dodge things.
Right.
Does not get, splits the uprights on the Q, but he is going to be A-okay. No summoners burned outside of that barrier.
Yeah, definitely Verd. Respect to Verd holding his flash there. Probably a lot of mid laners would have instinctively flashed, but he said, maybe I'm just bad, but he said, you know what, no, I can just barrier this and we'll be good. And yeah, you know, it's a good summoner burn out of Rookstout, but you got to figure he was hoping for that investment in the mid lane. He was going to get a flash out of the immobile Vel'Koz.
Well, there is something to be said about the Jace, kind of pre-item Jace, where he just has the tier and the serrated dirt.
Oh,
so,
there's a fight bot lane.
we
Rookstout
do.
is very caught.
Jungle in the bot side, but the rest of What's a WinCon is there. Rookstout having to bail out through the Dragon Pit. He's gonna walk away, and that is a brave invade for Rookstout on a Sejuani. Blitzkrieg's gonna win that one 9 times out of 10.
So one thing I want to highlight last game that was really big is we got, I'm not going to get to do it, IREP in the mid lane here, and there's the flash.
Chain Realm does miss the spear, and he's probably just going to have to walk away. IREP getting a little bit of poke
IREP,
down,
be
and
careful.
there goes the Vel'Koz laser pushing IREP incredibly low and probably forcing him to back as the What's a WinCon bot lane sees the 1v2 and pushes, but Rook Stout is there. Will he be able to do anything? No.
Nope.
Won't.
Renata gave him the hand there and said, you're not coming to my lane. Big move by IREP, though. You can see why this team is so effective when he's enabled to roam like that. Blowing the flash on the Vel'Koz that we were just talking about.
But in a flash, counter flash from Abarm. Beautiful play by him to be able to get out of there.
Yeah.
Blitzkrieg tried to make something happen, forcing the issue
this is a
in the
kill.
top lane. We have another fight. Bromanzilla going low. Pokemon Panda, Trolly, Oli, Tom Kench. Control.
Yeah, this Ignite is really giving him an edge in the 1v1. Obviously, we talked about the earlier gank that got him a bit of a CS lead, but you can see he's just more comfortable in the matchup. As you got the Herald going down, IREP's going to spot it, but, you know, his team is coming from base. I don't know that he can do this. Granted, What's a WinCon? They don't know that, so IREP walking up and channeling Hook might be enough to dissuade it here.
Definitely might be. Pokemon Panda is there. Both
Verd
champions
back,
are
though.
fairly low. Blitzkrieg needs to be really careful. He is not very tanky, and he is now very dead. Rook Stout coming in from the backside, able to knock out the ulti, and that is a double kill, as well as a Rift Herald for the Mariachi Mullets. They are not to be denied. And worst tactics, NA, you need to stop the bleeding. There's the Flash Bird getting the knockout, but he is alone. He is low. He is going to potentially die. Yes, he will.
He got a trade kill,
and
though.
Rookstout getting the kill, and this game is getting out of control now for What's a WinCon. We've been going back and forth, and I thought we were just going to have a nice game of League of Legends, but the chaos has returned.
Yeah, big mistake from What's a WinCon, staying on that IREP actually did a fantastic job of just hitting his hooks and dealing damage to Blitz, ultimately able to execute him with the Pycar, which means a lot of gold. What was about a 2,000 gold lead for what's a win con is now 1,000 the other direction, because when Pyke kills you with that R, he's printing 2 times the kill gold, right? So it feels pretty freaking miserable as we got a gank in the top side. Bromanzilla just forced a flash.
Yeah,
Oh,
pulls Pokemon under the turret. Bromanzilla incredibly low. Looks like they're just going to be able to push the turret out. And just to be clear, I don't think the game is necessarily out of control, but that situation got way out of control for what's a win con. Mirachi Mullet stabilizing nicely what could have been another kill. And that seems to be the Achilles heel as the baby cage goes down on Renata. Renata taking a lot of poke. That seems to be the issue with what's a win con. Great spear from IREP, and he is playing this Kane, this Pyke incredibly well. I got Kane on the brain from game 1.
Yeah, he's playing magnificently right now. Just going around and doing everything, filling holes for his team fantastically on this Pyke. You saw Joa go gank mid, not really necessarily get all the things he wanted. IREP says, fine, I'll go mid, and I'll get his flash this time, right? Buying pressure for them there that ultimately led to Verd dying because he didn't have flash in that last fight. And then again, you've seen him go back and pressure out bot. What we thought was going to be a pressure deficit in pick ban has turned into a huge pressure surplus. They're pushing constantly with this Vigar, walking forward, getting cages, and wouldn't you know it, right when there's potential for kill threat, IREP's right there. So it's been awesome to watch.
It's beautiful. Devious being forced to flash out. We didn't really mention that while all of that was happening, Mr. Reliable, Rook Stout, able to knock out second Dragon. So a reverse of what was happening in game 1 with what's a win con running away to an early Dragon lead. Now we have Mirachi Mullet's running away. And who is this? Taking a lot of poke and getting incredibly low. There goes the ulti in the bot lane. But in the top lane, we have a 3-man push with the Rift Herald. Bromanzilla a little bit out of position. Here. Is he going to go down? Yes, he will.
He's dead.
Taking the kill. Top inner going down as well. And there goes the tower dive. Beautiful knock-up. Blitz
it's a horror.
With the spank. Devious getting low, has the res, will not get it. Who is this? Knocking him out, but that is going to be a double kill in the bot lane. Who is this? Getting out by the skin of his teeth. 2 for 1, and the top lane siege continues. Top inner going down. Will Mariachi Mullet be able to respond on the bot side? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a net 2 for 2 trade, but that inner turret is worth a lot more than this outer turret is, even with the plate gold up. So you gotta feel better about that if you're what to win con. Not is he gonna finish it?
He's got the wave. Yeah, he'll get it.
Yeah, all right. So, well, either way, it is still probably a big win for what's a win con. There is some plates going down, but there should be a lot more pressure for what's a win con overall, especially now because they can pivot their already very strong Ziggs, who's done a good job farming in this lane, to sort of knock some of these turrets down with Verd as well. But you love to see the synergy out of them there. You saw immediately after they got the first kill onto Bromanzilla, they said, you know what, I'm Wing in. Just drop the Vel'Khazar and we'll kill this guy. Everything went down in a split second, and you got to... Oh, Verd, what are you doing?
Oh, speaking of split seconds, IREP trying to make something happen. Verd going low, but he may make IREP pay for it. There goes Blitzkrieg from the bat size. He's having himself a series. He is flashing in. He gets the spear onto A-Barn. Will he be able to finish it out? Rolls in, gets the sun, knocks him out, gets the ignite. A-Barn is going to tick, tick, tick. Will he die? He will not. He will survive just barely. Blitzkrieg.
He's a maniac. Blitz is an absolute maniac on it. He just flashing in immediately, throwing the hook. Blitzkrieg is a player that plays a whole bunch of different roles and a whole bunch of different champs. And a champion like Viego, where you're playing every champion basically on the enemy team at the same time, is perfect for him, right? You could see he got the Pyke. He's like, you know what? I'm flash hooking on this Pyke. I know how to play Pyke. So really good gameplay out of him, and you love to see him 3-1 now on this Viego. One thing I want to highlight, can we press tab, or can we get a gold check real quick? On the support, I believe IREP made a mistake with his support item. I don't know if he intended to do this or what, but that is not the right support item. And it's gonna
but in the mid lane, we've got ourselves an attempted engage from Rook Stout. Rook Stout, though, getting pulled in. He is getting low. I think he's going to be okay, though, but Pokemon Panda might prove me wrong. I think he's going to go for the Om Nom Nom, and Blitzkrieg is there trying to finish it off. Ignite is ticking. Blitzkrieg just out of range. A-Bar's poking. Oh man, he's gonna get out. Really good play, able to get out of there. But the siege is on, and the fight continues. IREP going for the kill. Worst tactics in it. Or excuse me, who is this? blowing up Worst Tactics NA and What's a WinCon a little bit overextended. Will Mariachi Mullets be able to punish this fight? IREP rolling out, rolling in, looking for the kill, wants the kill on Blitzkrieg. Mildly overextended. Who is this, however, on a killing spree, able to knock out Pokemon Panda. And we have a back and forth, up and down, dead even game as the dust settles and Mariachi Mullets looks to push down the mid turret.
Same thing from last game. Blitzkrieg just getting a little overconfident, chasing just a little bit too far.
What's going on here? Okay, Worst Tactics NA was not expecting to find that in his jungle. IREP and Aimbarn, they are a kill squad. They're trying to make something happen. They weren't able to make something happen in that moment. And by the way, we've been talking about all these fights a lot. Something I did want to note that despite all of these fights, not a lot of objectives have been going down.
Yeah, so definitely going to be a big fight here on the third Drake because we've seen the first two go for Mariachi Mullets. Losing third is going to feel pretty bad if you're What's a WinCon because you kind of know you give Ocean Soul, it's going to feel pretty impossible to win even versus this comp that I think should have worse team fighting than you pretty much by default. Ocean Soul is kind of going to tip that scale as we have a potentially very caught out. Oh, but a
beautiful Abarn goes down almost immediately. Pokemon Panda with a great back line knock up. He is face tanking 3 different people from Mariachi Mullets right now. Meanwhile, on the other side, Bromanzilla able to knock out Pokemon Panda. Blitzkrieg getting the shutdown onto Rook Stout. IREP a little bit low, but the rest of the Mariachi Mullets look like they are healthy. That is a 2-for-1 in favor of What's a WinCon, and this is going to be Dragon number 1 for them, slowing down the inevitable Soul Point.
Yeah, huge, really coordinated again from What's a WinCon. I would not want to face this team in playoffs because they are definitely peaking at exactly the right time. You saw Blitzkrieg get caught in the baby cage from Vigar, and immediately Pokemon said, you know what, I'm going in. As we have a fight here, Blitzkrieg maybe overreaching. I don't know how a second turret shot didn't go off. Oh, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead.
He's dead.
Oh,
great
that's a big
long-range
shutdown.
snipe from Who Is This. Beautiful aggressive flash. Devious taking another poke, so it looks like that Jace is also starting to come online. Bad news for What's a WinCon. They need a win, and they need it quickly as Abarn overextended. Gonna get knocked out. Verd is the word, and Abarn is dead.
Yeah, Abarn has his int quota, and I think IREP's joining him. This is starting to get a little sloppy in the bad way for them. IREP gets out, though. And yeah, Rook Stout, meanwhile, Mr. Reliable snagging an objective. I will say, in the chaos of these games, he's been very good at just going and, you know, there's a Rift Herald up. I'm just going to go take a Rift Herald. But you love to see this gameplay from them. One thing I want to say before we get too far removed from the fight is What's a WinCon is showing really improved communication. Blitzkrieg was caught in the Vigar cage, Pokemon immediately jumping in, and Devious having the fight awareness to just throw the ult over the top and kill Abarn off the rip really turned what was a bad situation into an awesomely winning fight for What's a WinCon.
Yeah, Devious has been a bit of the unsung hero on that Ziggs both games, putting out good damage. Still working his way towards that first item, so he really needs to get that moving. And just as I speak, he finishes his first mythic, Leandri's Anguish, online for him. The items are beginning to be completed, and what I'm really watching for on the side of Mariachi Mullets is how much poke they have. The chaos of these fights, as you mentioned, very bloodthirsty teams on both sides. One of the major differences, Blitzkrieg really looking to fight, Rook Stout looking to secure those objectives and keeping his team in the fight. Looking at global objectives, 2 Heralds, 2 Dragons to 1 on the side of Mariachi Mullets, even in Towers and Rift Heralds. What's a WinCon looking to change that with the mid-outer turret as Blitzkrieg rolls in top. Oh my goodness! The laser!
Get him,
Bird! Gets the snipe. Deleted, disintegrated, and everything else that Vel'Koz wants. He will be glorious for his research as Bromanzilla is in a 1v1 that he does not want. Will he be able to get out of there? He will not. Blitzkrieg knocking him out 1v1. He is going to continue pushing down that top lane as the rest of What's a WinCon does the same in the mid lane. This is going to be Poke City with Abarn in the Death Chamber.
Yeah, that was ridiculously alpha from Verd. I know, for those of you who don't know, in the announcement of the playoff bracket. Abarn posted it as if his team had won this game, calling it the most likely scenario. And I know that pissed Vert off something fierce. That flash ult was personal. Finishing off Abarn, sealing the mid tower, and getting a really big lead now. It's only 1,000 gold, but in terms of the game state and with these comps, this should be a hugely winning position for What's a Win Con. I do believe they're going to scale way better into these team fights as the game progresses, and it's going to be more and more difficult to get any threat onto the Sigs, onto this Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz is not Lux as well, going to be doing a lot more in the way of true damage, which is going to be harder and harder to itemize against.
Yes, as Rook Stout rolls in, able to get the stun down onto Pokemon Panda. Pokemon Panda decides that he wants a little bit of a snack. And he's going to try to get Rook Stout out of position, but there is the laser. Verd is, as you mentioned, he probably took that personally, getting a nice long-range smite down.
Get him, Verd!
Airborne goes, who is this? Who is this?
No.
You are dead. Blitzkrieg is running the show now, and it looks like they are well on their way towards either a Baron or a kill onto that Mordekaiser. I don't even know what they're going to go for. I think it's going to be Baron.
It's got to be Baron. Second time in 2 games that Who Is This has been the lone Fed member of his team, had a bounty, and just by the grace of God, Blitzkrieg is the one that gets the kill, which is huge for them. Those bounties are meant to be a comeback mechanic, but when the Fed member on the ahead team is getting them, it feels miserable. That was an 850 gold shutdown going over to the most Fed member of the game. Can we get a gold check as we have this Baron going down?
Hold on. Let's wait on that. Let's make sure they secure this. They do. Yeah. Okay, now let's do a gold check. But yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we've got, I'm seeing
10,000 gold for Blitzkrieg. 10,000 gold. He is by far the most fed member again in the game. He is absolutely tearing through this game right now. Huge props to him and the rest of his team as well. You can see, I want to highlight something really quickly again in that fight, a little small mechanic as we have the Drake coming up. Pokemon Panda ate Rook Stout when he jumped in. Devious instantly had the Zig Satchel Charge waiting to knock him back into the tower, which forced Rook Stout to flash out immediately. Right, you can see that there's just layers to these champions that they kind of know how they work well together. Rather than just being comfortable on the champs, they're comfortable with the comp, and it looks awesome to see, especially at the exact right time. Right, they're spiking right in time for playoffs.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of really finding their identity, and Pokemon Panda, credit to him for really taking it to Bromanzilla in this top lane with a pick that very much he is not comfortable. Bromanzilla probably not comfortable or used to playing against. IREP trying to go in for the kill, not going to happen. And despite all of that, we would be remiss if we didn't say, as turrets go down on both sides, sole point for the Mariachi Mullets. That Jace not stinging as hard as they would like. Rook Stout a little bit out of position. Getting a smite off the board would be huge
Abarn might be dead.
As the laser pushes out,
Abarn is dead.
Will Devious once again. An absolute sniper with that ulti. And What's a Win Con gonna take that, run with it, give themselves mid-inner. And they know what's going on as Pokemon Panda doing his best to try to survive. Will he go down? Yeah, he's going to go down. So Bromanzilla knocking out Pokemon Panda, but on the bottom side, What's a Win Con knocking on the door of this Mariachi Mullet's base.
Yeah, really well played by Bromanzilla to get one back, but man, it's got to feel miserable being Abarn in this game. You are 0-6, you went for the Jace pick, and it is just not working, and this is what that looks like here. You saw them say, you know what, like, I trust my Jace enough. Let's build this comp around me playing that AD threat in the mid lane, and he is just getting dunked on right now.
He is certainly getting dunked on. He's getting poked. He's getting prodded. He is getting exploded. And he is not doing what his team needs him to do. On the other side, we are running out of superlatives for Blitzkrieg. Really just being an all-star in this game. Peaking at the right time. Hitting his potential, and setting his team up for success. Pings going down from Rook Stout, looking like he wants to set up some of the vision for the Baron. No major objectives for the next 3 minutes, so we're maybe gonna be able to catch our breath unless we see some fights over some vision or territory or a blue buff. I mean, both these teams love to fight, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, absolutely love to see some contention up here as they fight for it. Obviously have the Baron now. The one thing they have to play safe for is the Soul. We've seen them at times get a little overconfident, take bad fights, and then, you know, lose stuff on the backhand. I think if you lose Ocean Soul, all of a sudden there's a very real comeback avenue for Team Mariachi Mullets. But yeah, This game is absolutely the story of Blitz and Verd tearing it up. Not to discount contributions from the other members. All the other members have been fantastic too in their own right. But Blitz and Verd have absolutely torn the 2v2 of Abarn and Rookstout apart. They're dominating their respective lanes. Abarn is full NA Jace mode. This is why you don't prioritize it. We are in the wrong region. This is the wrong server to go for that first round Jace. You don't want to see it here, and he is 0-6 struggling. Meanwhile, Verd 4-1 flourishing in this game should be absolutely in a position to just dominate the rest of these team fights, get early river prio, and take these drakes, take these wins, and win yourself your first series in TCL Season 3.
And what a series it would be. 3,000 gold up for what's a WinCon. They just need to make sure that they settle. Don't get too hyped. Play chilly. Use their lead.
No.
First Tactics NA getting jumped on by Bromanzilla. He looks like he's going to...
Oh, he lived.
Oh, what a flash. And Bromanzilla gets immediately punished.
All right.
Kill, follow-up kill from IREP. Great job using the Pike ulti to get the execute down. IREP, however, is deep behind enemy lines, trying to do it again. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this one on the other side. Blitzkrieg, killing spree, becomes the Vigar. I have the baby cage now. I am the adult, and you are dead. Did I mention that I'm also Jace? Tongue lashing from Pokemon Panda, able to slow Rookstout down. Rookstout, however, running for his life, able to get out of there. And that is now a rout for what's a WinCon as we are ticking down to that Dragon and Baron. Less than a minute for Dragon, a little more than a minute for Baron, as Pokemon Panda is hungry and he wants some boar for dinner.
Yeah, if he kills the Sejuani, or Sejuani will not be up to contest the Soul, but if he doesn't, it's a big deal. Soul in 30 seconds. We saw last game Mariachi Mullets from ahead, backing in time to get there for the Soul contest. This game, the exact opposite situation has presented itself, where What's a WinCon is ahead, but is facing down Soul right now in 18 seconds, did not reset in time, and now have to fight without backing and buying and healing. This is actually a potentially really rough situation. IREP with the hook on tactics. Not going to get anything of it. Blitzkrieg here, though, running up right into the face.
That is a scuttle crab. Are you sure you want to walk into 3 people on that? He says yes, and he is A-okay with throwing their wallet at the opponent. Mariachi Mullets, however, Pokemon Panda getting a kill onto Bromanzilla, and so that is a kill. Oh, Verd getting the laser down. He's poking incredibly well from the other side of the pick, but he is split from his team.
Verd, be careful.
IREP pulling him in. Poke coming down. Flash. Might have been a fail flash over the wall. Shut down. Abarn needed that gold, but the Dragon is rolling down.
Oh, no!
Oh, Rookstout with the steal! That's going to be Soul from Mariachi.
That's huge.
Will they be able to do something with it? IREP going down. Blitzkrieg is unstoppable.
Oh, no.
Gets the res. Soul for Mariachi Mullets, but at what cost?
Rook with an absolute hero play. That is a huge team fight win. Yeah, Baron is going to go down on the flip side, but you just won 2 for 1, or 1 for 2 rather, but get the Soul steal. That is huge. That is exactly what your team needed to come back into this game. With Soul, it's going to be a lot harder for these poke champions to function because there's an Ocean Soul healing them right back up when you poke them down, right? Might not matter. Huge gold lead for what's a WinCon still. They should still have damage, just outright kill, but all of a sudden, Viego's trade pattern, in particular when you're fighting that Jace one-on-one, you're fighting that Mordekaiser one-on-one, becomes a lot harder to pull off when they're healing back to full from the Ocean Soul.
All right,
oh, will he do it again?
We're going to go close.
Oh my God!
He does! Gets both major objectives. Soul on one side, Baron on the other. Mariachi Mullets flipping this game on its head. 2,000 gold down, 4,000 gold down. It does not matter. You cannot count this team out.
Yeah, this is the exact opposite of how we just saw. It's the same game from other sides, right? We just saw Mariachi Mullets lose this way, and now they're winning this way. They do it in the reverse order. They steal the Drake and then steal the Baron, but same deal, right? You see the Baron still come through now, and this is going to be a huge momentum swing. What was a 5 or 6k gold lead is now basically even. It's 1,000 gold now in the favor of what's a WinCon. And Mariachi Mullets has that Ocean Soul, so that's a permanent buff. That's not going anywhere, right? So that is a permanent scaling edge that they will now have as this game progresses, and I really think it tilts to the way a lot of these team fights are going to play out. Now it becomes a lot harder for Blitzkrieg to jump in, because if he jumps in and tries to fight this Mordekaiser one-on-one, I'm not sure, but I think that Ocean Soul might just be the difference to make that one-on-one a lot harder.
Yup, and that Jace is starting to hurt. Knockup going down onto Bromanzilla. Bromanzilla a little bit out of position. He is
he's
going
dead.
to get nommed all day long. Togemon's gonna have to get his digestive tract checked for the the undead, all that stuff, necrotic flesh. Don't do
Yeah.
it, folks. It's not good. IREP, however, getting the spear down
IREP's caught.
onto gets him out. He is caught. He is out of position. Blitzkrieg actually missing that jump onto him, and IREP gonna be able to get out that pike. Very, very slippery.
Yeah.
But what's a win con getting a pick off? Abarn starting to get his items moving, starting to hit a little bit harder, but still behind tempo in terms of the scaling tanks as well as the rest
What's
of
a win con
his
need to
teammates.
go? What's a
They
win
do.
con need
They
to
need-
really move here? I love what IREP is doing, though. Look at IREP in the bot lane. He is split pushing as we have a fight engaged mid. It is going to miss.
Oh, Pokemon Panda gets baby cage, gets
They
beat
gotta
up,
leave.
and has to run away. And in the bot lane, while that's happening, IREP solo taking down mid or bot inner turret does do it. Pushes What's a Win Con back, and this is the danger zone for What's a Win Con. Y'all gotta
They're
keep moving.
throwing.
Gotta not do that. Now, to be fair to them though, it is Soul and Baron on the side of Mariachi Mullets, but Mariachi Mullets playing the macro game a little bit better than What's a Win Con, and Pike bot lane. Do something! Looks like Blitzkrieg is there to do something. He's going to push him out. He is going to chase him down. He's in a couple of minions, but he doesn't really care. The foot race is on. Flashes in.
Does he get him?
Knocks him low. Counter flash onto IREP. Blitzkrieg, you need to finish him off. The rest of his team is here.
No.
You need to be careful. He keeps missing things.
No.
Looks out is there. Abarn is there to turn things around. Is this going to be the kill for Blitzkrieg? Yes, he gets shut down. Blitzkrieg in these late stages continues to find himself in 1v3 situations.
no.
Too bloodthirsty. Uh-oh, what's a win con?
Yeah, so you see why the Pike is actually so well played in these spots. Fnatic Hylissang is a support that does this really well in professional play, but on this champion, you can just break into a side lane really freaking effectively. The champ is so darn slippery that when you go to match it, he can just run away, right? He's building AD anyway, so you know he's going to do a lot of damage to these towers. Oh my goodness, who is this? Has had enough.
Yeah, he has worse tactics and ain't going down as well. Abarn wants to get on the action now. Here comes Togemon, I think the fight's over. That is a extended 3-for-0 in favor of Mariachi Mullets, completely flipping this game on its head. They know what they need to do. They need to win this game. They need to win Game 3, and they need to do it under 36 minutes on average. As IREP grabs the pike, pulls Pokemon Panda over the wall. He is getting low. He's going to try to get out. He will not be able to do that. He is going to die. Who is this getting credit for the kill? We got a Vagar, ladies and gentlemen. Blitzkrieg and Bromanzilla beating each other up. Rook Stout is there, however, to help. This is a 1v1, and wow, Bromanzilla actually getting the better of it. Mariachi Mullets in the driver's seat. I guess they took it personally. What's a win con getting so far ahead on them? They have settled. They have tightened the noose, and they are rolling into the base of What's a Win Con. Who needs gold, even though they've got a 5,000 gold lead at this point? Who needs kills? That's a 2-7 chase. They don't care. Bird going down. Rook Stout getting the kill, tanking a turret. Middle inhibitor turret's gonna go down as Rook Stout and Who Is This are just rolling in here. Wow, that Vagar getting completely out of control now. 8-2-2, and Mariachi Mullets very likely gonna push this thing to a Game 3 as Pokemon Panda walks in. I think What's a Win Con is just kind of rolling in at this point. First turret's gonna go down. Second turret's gonna go down. Mariachi Mullets, they will not be denied. We're going to Game 3.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, that is such a tilting way to lose a game right there. You gotta feel miserable if you're What's a Win Con, and you could kind of see it in their gameplay there. After the steals on the Soul and the Baron, they kind of just fell apart, right? They started playing way less together, going for really forced, quick, uncoordinated plays. Unlike what we saw, 90% of that game was them making the more coordinated play, them playing really well with their champions around one another. And then all of a sudden, you know, you lose Soul, it's a tilter. You lose Baron, it's a heartbreak. And you lose the game, it just feels miserable. I would not want to be in their comms right now.
Oh, that is brutal. We're looking at the damage graph right now. Abarn actually leading the pack despite going 0-6, so good damage on him. Probably making it up on the back end with that swingy game. Time check 34 minutes on that win. Exactly what they needed. They need to stay under that average game time for that game 3, and they're going to secure that #1 seed. On the side of the What's a Win Con, Verd, great damage. Blitzkrieg as well, doing his best. But Rook Stout, the hero of the day, back-to-back smite steals in situations where he had no business getting those objectives. Take a pause, take a break, do what you got to do, because we have a series, one game for the #1 seed. We'll be right back.
How the hell do we have a game 3? Hey everybody, welcome back to TCL Game 3, Week 5 of this amazing series we have between the Mariachi Mullets and What's a WinCon. I'm Bully. This is Jaws next to me. Jaws, this is one of the best series of the season.
Yeah, I had to. I was saying between games 2 and 3, I had to like not talk because of all the fights that were happening. I don't think I've called so many team fights in over the course of 2 games in my entire time shoutcasting League of Legends. So this is wild. And
Yeah.
and let's just I just want to take a moment and let's just talk about what just happened in this entire series, right? So game 1, What's a WinCon? Crazy level 1. Blitzkrieg looks like he's going to run away with it. Mariachi Mullets bring it back.
Yeah,
Right? But What's a WinCon? Still takes it. Game 2 looks like it's kind of the same situation. Blitzkrieg on Viego getting out of control, doing really well. Back to back, coast to coast global objective steals on the side of Rook Stout, Hero Jungler, and Mariachi Mullets just runs away with it despite an 0-6 Jace and a
Yeah.
very, very fed Viego. I don't even know what to expect for game 3.
Yeah, what was turning into the awesome underdog upset of our season has turned. This has the potential, if they don't rebound in this game 3, to be the biggest heartbreak of the season so far, right? You gotta feel like that was 95% in the bag for What's a WinCon. Even after they lose the soul, you have to think like this one's done, right? But somehow, some way, Mariachi Mullets found exactly what they needed to do. Huge, huge shout outs to Mr. Rook Stout. Smite stealing away Drake and then Baron right after it. That was a solo win from him in that regard, right? Like those 2 plays single-handedly really sealed the deal for them. And you gotta figure too, mental exhaustion, all of that is coming into play. It is getting late. It is a game 3 that I think no one on What's a WinCon thought was coming. You have to figure they are deflated after that.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I was messaging back and forth with Verd. I know he's deflated. So
Yeah, for
he's a
sure.
little tilted. I have to imagine the rest of his team probably isn't too far behind him. And on the flip side now, Mariachi Mullets can't be any happier, right? Because that was not a game they thought they had.
The momentum is purely in the side of the Mariachi Mullets. It is swinging deeply in their favor. And can we just talk about the mental of Rook Stout, who got abused in that game 1? He got level 1'd as we're into Champion Select. He got level 1'd. He got his smite stolen. He was getting solo killed in his jungle. And so to come back, avoid actually I think they were the ones that tried to make the invade. Didn't happen. Kane first ban off the table. Coming back, and what really most people could have been forgiven for thinking, just not our day. He dug in, he stayed solid, and he really flipped the script for his teammates. And that just, I'm not gonna lie, if he has a solid game, I'm gonna give him MVP just for that 5-minute window where he took them from losing to winning. It's incredible to watch, and it's wonderful to be a spectator for it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge, huge victory. And yeah, you got to say with Rook Stout too, it's not just that he's consistently a good player. He's a good player. I think even he would admit maybe not mechanically the best jungler we have in the league. But the reason why he is so darn solid and consistent in making really long, really deep runs into the playoffs is because his mental is so on check. And even when he's dying here and there and having rough games, he keeps it together and does what he does best. Goes for things like, first off, the Drakes he was taking early in the game fed into that opportunity to steal soul later, right? He got a Herald for no reason after a weird fight ended, and he just realized, like, hey, they can't possibly reset in time. Let me go get the Herald. He's making great plays, and yeah, rarely is there a more 1v9 moment in this league than what the hell he just did on that dragon into the Baron.
It's like macro 1v9. That's how you macro 1v9. Zillion going down, second wave of bans. Just as a heads up, y'all, we do have a special treat. We have not 1, but 2 special guests to help us while away the spectator delay. Ziggs as the first pick. Ornn Trundle, Hecarim Zillion. Not really any surprises there.
Yeah.
The Ziggs being taken away, though, from Devious. forcing him onto something else. Who is this? That is something he is really, really comfortable with.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
This is the
there's the
first time
Renata.
we've
Yup.
seen them. Yeah, so I like this. Renata is working. I really don't think What's a WinCon has to reinvent the wheel. We talked about how the macro game and the momentum is playing in Mariachi Mullet's hand right now, right? Obviously they feel good, but everything else about that game was playing against them, right? Like they lost every part of that game right up
Yeah.
until they won it.
Let's be real. They had no business winning that
No,
game, too.
not at all. Not at all. And yeah, that's playing in their advantage now because you got to figure their hype and the other team is tilted, but they got to figure out a way to actually win the game like convincingly because you're not going to get that again. And
Yo, hold
we
up,
got
hold up.
Maokai.
Let's take a pause. Ziggs Maokai bot.
This is a terror.
Not only a really annoying bot lane, but 2 comfort picks. And speaking of
Ooh, I
comfort
like
picks,
this.
will we see that Jarvan in the jungle for Mr. Rook Stout?
So actually, I don't know that I'm a huge fan of grabbing it here. Okay, that's a little interesting too. So the Malphite is a comfort pick for Bromanzilla. What I was gonna say though is with the Aurelia already banned out, you have to figure Abarn is gonna want to play an AD damage champ. These are 3 AP threats on his side. He's gonna need to bring something that's AD. Maybe just saying, you know what, look, I'll play whatever, right? I have enough AD damage champions here to play. But
Well, he has played AD carry in past TCLs, and he has
yeah,
busted
yeah,
out Tristana in the
Tristana.
past. So
So
that is an
what I
option,
was
and I believe they played it with the Ziggs bot.
What I was gonna say though is I don't think they definitely have played Trist already mid this season. I don't think that was necessarily the best look, although I think it matches pretty well into Verd's champ pool. But you probably aren't opting for the Jace again. Oh, I hate that ban. That's such a wasted ban. You got to figure there's no world where he's gonna opt for Azir here because there's no way his team's gonna have any
There's
unified
no need
damage.
for it.
No, no. And if he does it, Rook Stout is playing pretty much only tanks. His main AD damage threat has been the Hecarim when he's gotten it. Hecarim is off the board already, banned by the Mariachi Mullets so that they could first pick that Ziggs, right? You have to figure there's no world where they're picking Azir.
Oh, they're gonna play. He's gonna play Sejuani.
Ooh, and Yasuo.
This team is perfect. This team is perfect for a Sejuani.
This could be
for Rook Stout, and then I expect Abarn to probably play some
Oh.
kind of high damage, super high damage, right? Because if they grab the Sejuani Malphite, not a lot of damage. Ziggs,
So-
really solid damage, but they need that hyper carry in the mid lane. But I'm with
Yeah.
you. Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea what they're
So
gonna take.
we could
We didn't really
see-
mention though on the other side, Devious grabbing Misfortune,
That's a
Viego
big
for
one.
Blitzkrieg, and then the Tom Kench for Tukimon once again. Loved that pick. In
He
game
looked
2.
great on it. He looked great on it. I think it's a better matchup even into the Malphite. But I think we could see a Yone. Yone is the bait pick here for Abarn. I think the correct pick is something like a Lucian or a Tristana. I think a bigger ranged AD threat is more correct here than going something like a Yone or something that is really coin flippy. Your damage is not consistent. Ziggs is going to be a solid pick as
I'm
we
gonna
see
go
the
Tristana.
Jarvan. The Jarvan is well paired here. I think Trist is probably where I would lean too. Maybe
With
Lucian
the
could come
Ziggs,
in.
because we're not just
You could
what we
look
haven't
Yone
really talked
here.
about is the structure damage. Tristana and Ziggs melt
Yeah,
structure.
yeah, that's true. And yeah, here's the Trist. I think Trist is probably the best pick he's got here.
Yep.
I think if he goes Yone here, yeah, it tilts Verd really hard. He hates that champ, but it's a big bait. You'd be too melee, and yeah, there's Trist. I like this a lot more. It's going to be interesting to see. They've held counterpick for Verd. I think, especially, and I say this lovingly, I love Verd, and I've teamed with him in the past. He's a great guy. I think Verd having counterpick is not. It's pretty exploitable, honestly, from the opposing team's perspective, because the champions he plays are all pretty much the same. Like, you know, pretty broadly, as here's Vex. This is a linear skill shot oriented champion, pretty immobile. Like, Verd tends to play the exact same types of champs, so I think it's good for them to put him in a spot where, like, you know, he has to use that last pick on matchup, but like he doesn't have like a super deep champion pool to whip something out here to really make Abarn hurt for blind picking that Tristana. I think it's good
Yeah.
drafting by Mariachi Mullets, and I think it's going to be on Verd here to perform on the Vex.
Yes, it definitely will be, and something that I've always thought about, especially when you're thinking about a carry jungler, is can you grab something in the mid lane that brings a little bit of utility to help set that jungler up to carry? Blitzkrieg, as we mentioned, has been absolutely bananas. He's also been very aggressive, so that's something to consider. And while we are doing that, we are going to pull in We are going to pull in. Oh, we've got a party going on.
Oh
So
my
we've got
gosh.
Mr.
Get them
Music
all.
X, Mr. Tailwhip, and Mr. Wojtek going to talk to us. Y'all got 3 minutes. Have fun.
Yeah, you guys probably feeling pretty miserable if I had to bet. Obviously, 3 members of Pickles on Pizza, but do you guys have hope seeing this draft that you guys are still going to get that first round bye? That What's a Win Con's going to pull it out?
Blitz is a beast. Please, carry harder.
Yeah, that's
I
what
think
I'm
it.
thinking.
I think it just depends on how the jungle and mid play out here. Malphite is definitely more useful. I think I talked about it with Waj earlier. Malph is more useful towards the later part of the game, but Toki can kind of, if Malph is careless, Toki can pretty much beat him
Yeah.
early. But if Bro can just play safe, scale up, then Bro kind of just wins that overall. And then it really just depends on how A Barn and who is this kind of show up, but as well as how the team fights play out. It's really gonna depend on Joe as well. If Joe
Yeah,
can hit those miracle smites, but our team
definitely.
is kind of rooting for what's a win con for now.
uh,
you know.
I definitely feel that. I want to ask Wojtek, I want to get your opinion on this mid lane matchup. How do you think this fares? I'm really not too versed into Tristana versus Vex. Wondering if you have any insight into it.
So I mean, I'm with you guys. I think that the Azir ban was egregious, and they should have gone with the Tristana ban, especially if they were planning on playing Vex, because almost all of the other options Abarn has all involve way heavier dashes. The only one
Yeah.
that doesn't being Jace, and no flame intended. We just saw how the Jace worked out.
Number
But
one
in terms of
damage.
this
Just
matchup,
saying.
I mean, he ended up doing some damage as Jace does, but he also was one of the main reasons why WAW was in that game in the first place. But in terms of Trist Vex, you don't really have like the only time that Tristana is going to be dashing in for Vex's passive is probably unless Abarn is inting, which is possible. It probably means that Verd is dead. So if Verd ever uses an ability and thus uses his passive, that basically is just a go button for Abarn to just kind of jump in. And if she has to hold all of her spells so that she has the fear, that means she's not pushing the wave and she's under turret the entire game because of Tristana. So, not a huge fan necessarily.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you. Yeah, and let's get Tell up your opinion on this bot lane. This is definitely a different look here for IREP. And who is this getting the Ziggs and getting his Maokai? How do you feel about this one?
Well, I can tell you, Dev and Tactics, they're not playing League. They are playing a bullet hell this game. They
Yeah.
are having projectiles thrown at them constantly.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you.
Yep. And Tailwhip, with that, as we are counting down to the end of the spectator delay, Ziggs and Maokai just going to be throwing things constantly. Interesting matchup in the mid lane. Thank you so much, Voy. I'm going to go down the line real quick. Tell me who is going to take this game 3. Will it be What's a Win Con, 10-1 fan vote, by the way? Or will it be the Mariachi Mullet securing the #1 seed? Music, we'll start with you.
I think it's gonna be what's a win con. I think that if Andrew can pull it off, I mean Blitz. If Blitz can pull it off, I think they just win.
All right. What about you, Voy?
I am convinced that Abarn hired some people to create content for this, but I also think that Joa has completely ripped up the script and is popping the heck off. So shout out to Joa. I'm gonna have to give it to Joa. Not even the team specifically, Joa. Shout out to Joa.
Just Joa, yeah. And I've already said that if they win, I will vote for Rookstout MVP just for the best.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
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 Tailwhip, round us out.
I want Verd's team to win,
Go with your
but
heart.
if it goes 40 minutes, I don't care.
Go with your
All
heart.
right, there we go. So Tailwhip votes for 40 minutes. All right, thank you all
I
so
like
much.
that.
We're gonna kick you out. Enjoy the show.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, honestly,
Alrighty, bully. What
Yeah,
about
I-
you? We didn't get to you. We had too many people hanging out with us.
it doesn't matter. We got the honestly not so unbiased takes from like they should be biased to call What's a Win Con, but you can see there, like even Wojtek saying, like, you know what, I think they got this. I think Mariachi Malt's gonna pull it out. I think I'm leaning in the same way. I went into the chat vote and took advantage of that 10-1 skew, voted against the chat there. I put all of my channel points in on mariachi mullets. I think this comp is just a good look from them. I think they got comfort, right? And they moved more than anything. I value that they moved What's a WinCon to play different champions, right? We saw What's a WinCon winning on all these same champs, the Ziggs. They got the Kench, which is sort of a similar lane bully for Pokemon. To what the Ornn was becoming in game 1. Now they have to play different champions, have to move a little bit. Yeah, they still got the Renata, but it's
they didn't get
an
seen.
interesting look. Oh, IREP
What's
does this.
WinCon did not
Oh,
get seen. Okay,
but they
now
didn't see
just got
IREP.
seen. But IREP is out of position. They're going to try and make something happen, forcing the
Oh,
flash out, but he is deep behind enemy lines. At this point, he's either going to need to get out of here or get himself an
Oh, wait,
execute. And it looks
you're
like
in
he's running for the
Maokai's
execute.
jungle.
Yep, but on the other side, who is this?
Flash,
is
flash.
trying to push down. He already flashed. Oh, there it is. There it is. Pokemon Panda making sure the
Oh, but he's
execute
running
does
to
not
A-Barn.
happen. A-Barn is there. The rest of his team is there.
What
Are we
is
going to see a
going
level
on?
1 fight? IREP getting incredibly low. He's going to walk in. He's going to get knocked out. That's a first blood onto Viego. That is not the person you want first blood on. So Blitzkrieg having himself another great start as What's a WinCon making magic happen in that level 1.
Yeah, I think if A-Barn did pay for content, he might have paid IREP because that was greedy, but also really well done. I'm not sure if they know this or not. Maybe they've scouted, maybe they haven't. IREP loves to do that cheese where he throws the saplings into the tri-brush level 1 as the Maokai to get a chip on the bot lane as they walk from the leash to the lane. They caught him invading there and just caught him in a bad spot. I hated where he flashed. I think if he flashes upriver, he actually probably gets away. But you know what? Like, that's what happened, and What's a WinCon rewarded with an early first blood, probably resetting a bit of that mental edge we talked about too.
Absolutely, and I gotta give Pokemon Panda credit for denying the execute, getting the long range tongue action onto IREP as Verd takes a massive poke from A-Barn early on that Tristana. Pokemon Panda continuing just being a real pain in the top lane, and in the bot lane, despite an early kill or an early death from IREP, that bot lane pushing, and not a whole lot that Devious and Wiz Tactics can do about it.
Yeah, one thing I want to highlight here, we've seen 2 games in a row where Blitzkrieg gets his jungle champion and pushes Joa around just by clearing faster and pathing a little bit more efficiently. This game, because of that invade, he actually recalled off level 1. Shout out to Monkey for catching that in the chat, and it's putting him way further behind in jungle tempo. You can see now he's just getting to his 3rd camp, whereas Rookstout is already through 4, clearing his 5th. So there is a big tempo advantage for this Jarvan. Going to be interesting to see what he can do with it. If maybe he can turn around and bully the bully, push Blitzkrieg out a little bit. Blitzkrieg is behind, or make a gank somewhere. Probably not as likely because he's bot side, and as we kind of previewed in this draft, this bot lane is playing out exactly how we thought it would, shoving, and we have a gank in the bot lane for Blitz.
Yeah, there goes the pull in. IREP getting targeted pretty aggressively.
No.
Devious is
No
sitting back.
flash.
They want to give Devious the kill. IREP just gonna int under turret. Devious getting, oh boy, getting what's kind of a free kill. Great play by Worst Tactics NA setting that up. And I think IREP kind of knew he's out of position and just walked into the turret.
Yeah, he has no flash. Really smart pathing by Blitz, pathing top lane to bot lane, a little less conventional. But as a consequence of it, he's able to get that gank off, and he says, you know what, I'm so far behind in tempo that I'm just going to look for a gank, right? Like, probably knew he's a little bit further behind Joa. Joa went for the more efficient clear, and yeah, he cleared all 6 of his camps, full cleared in the time that Blitz got way fewer camps. But, Blitz saying, screw it, I'm just going to go for the gank, and he's rewarded for it, right? Ultimately, didn't get participation, but it doesn't really matter when you get the kill anyway, right?
Yeah, and getting first blood is also going to help on that. You're going to feel a little bit more generous when you have that gold under your belt.
Definitely.
And we see Blitzkrieg once again, aggressive wards going down from What's a WinCon. Blitzkrieg, when he gets a lead, knows what to do with it, looking for fights in his in his opponent's jungle and really making it his own. As things are continuing to push, the tempo is not to be denied. And Worst Tactics NA walking up. Hello. Flash is out, gets low, ignite, tick, 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 tick. And he's going to try to preserve himself, but that's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, Blitzkrieg trying to take advantage of that, but that's going to be a double kill onto the Maokai. Blitzkrieg out of position, but he will get the kill, and now he's going to go on to who is this? Most of his cooldowns are popped. and he is
Oh, the
going to...
Maokai!
Oh, the Maokai!
Can't
Let's
switch back,
throw
though.
some saplings. Wait for... He's just trying to wait out the minefield. There's the satchel charge. Who is this? Extending this as long as he can, but I don't think that's going to do it. Blitzkrieg on a killing spree.
Oh,
That's where he
no.
wants to be, in the driver's
Take the
seat.
farm.
But, Bully,
Do it.
here is the question. Here is the question.
Yeah.
Can Blitzkrieg pilot his team to a victory, or is he going to crash his car into a wall?
We've seen him do it twice now. The first game he was able to recover and make the hero play. Game 2, not so much. Here he's definitely in a really good position. He is down quite a bit in farm this game compared to the previous 2 games where he got this kind of an early lead, but still, you gotta love it if you're him. Still, though, I do want to point out, a 2 for 2 overall, right? Like, yeah, the kills went to the Viego, and that's bad, but it's a 2 for 2 in a 2v3. You don't hate that, right? Like, it's not the end of the world, and Who Is This is in a really good spot. Unfortunately, kills both went over to IREP, but IREP is on this Maokai that's going to do pretty darn well with the gold anyway, right? So, not the end of the world. Really not the end of the world. Joe was able to get some gold back on his camps and is now up a little bit in farm, although it's going to even out pretty quickly here for Blitz. But yeah, not the end of the world, but Blitzkrieg definitely in the driver's seat. Gonna have to drive this car safely to the destination of the Nexus.
Yeah, that's like a good race car driver on a high-performance vehicle. Blitzkrieg having to ride the line between risk and reward. Bully, I know you're a chess player. It's almost like we just saw a rapid material exchange, 2 for 2, but definitely coming out, Mariachi Mullets coming out ahead in that trade. But despite all that, a little bit down, and the, oh, sorry, not Mariachi Mullets, What's a WinCon, Blitzkrieg in particular coming out ahead in that trade despite a rapid exchange of material. 3-0, but we said it before, he's got a bounty on his head already, and another one of those 1v3s. I don't want to see him doing those 1v3s, and hopefully his team's been talking about it, as Dragon goes down almost free for Mariachi Mullets.
Yeah, so it's not 100% free. I think Blitz is just going to walk into the top side and take all these camps. As soon as he sees this go down, he has to know. He's not even waiting. He knows, right? He figures they're on this Drake right now. And I do have to say, too, huge credit for a bot lane that's been playing mostly under their tower. Huge credit to the vision effort from What's a WinCon in all 3 games. The reason why he can play so well from this, yeah, he's got great intuition and he's a good player, so he can infer a lot, but Blitz has a lot of help from his team giving him this vision coverage around the map, especially when it's not quite the opportune position to do so. He can say, like, okay, they're probably on Drake right now. Yeah, maybe he can infer that at a certain point, but also the vision gave him a little bit of a lead on that. So he can go in, get some camps back, and maybe get a kill here on the top side if he's quick enough.
Yes, he could. It looks like that's not going to happen, though. Bromenzilla knows he's a little bit low on resources. He's out of mana, and he walks away safely in the bot lane. We had a bit of an exchange, a little bit of a dust-up, if you will, and nothing doing quite yet. A little bit more of a subdued start after that explosive level 1. First Dragon going to the Mariachi Mullets, and, you know, looking at not just laning phase, but scaling potential early lane bully, and A-Barn actually looking to enjoy a little bit of an early meal as the ulti goes down onto them. Quick reset, instant double kill. That's exactly what Mariachi Mullets wants. And then now they also have that Tristana, and Ziggs, that combination, able to take that turret, but Bird rolls in, trying to get the turnaround kill. But Bird, you're out of mana. You're going against an auto attacker. You need to be careful. A-Barn incredibly low. Gonna walk away, but Bird, no mana to follow up. So good idea, but just didn't have the resources to do anything with it as Rift Herald goes down for Rook Stout. Mr. Objectives.
He's so good at this, right? He just darts around all the time and gets the objectives where they are. He's not doing anything ridiculous, although last game, what he did was ridiculous. But this game especially, his early games are nothing ridiculous, nothing crazy. He's just doing what he has to do. He's got his team, I think, every early Drake. He's gotten the first Drake every game, all 3 games. He's got the Herald now, too. I think he got that 2 out of 3 games and had it stolen from him in the one he didn't. So, you know what? He's just making the right objective-oriented, team-oriented moves. It's not going to get you all the hype all the time, but it's going to get you the win.
Yeah, and that's what counts here. The win and the #1 seed. Clock is still ticking, although Bully, I believe that with that 34-minute win, the math has changed a little bit. Blitzkrieg grabbing double buffs, sees the kill, gets the stun down onto IREP. He is very fed. He is very strong, gets the flash, and he is going to get the kill, forcing the ulti out of IREP. That's a great kill for him. Flash as well. They're going to grab a Scuttle Crab on the way out, and that is a pretty good day's work so far for this jungler.
Yeah, IREP's got to pace himself here. It's 10 minutes into the game. He has 5 deaths already. He is going to get hit by the interflag. 5 of 6 kills. Riot support will catch you at a certain point, man.
Oh
Be
no,
careful.
Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg, unstoppable. Who is this? Going to try to make something happen. He gets the flag and drag. He's going to be Viego again. But IREP is there and redeems himself with a shutdown. Good play by him.
It's a horror, though. That shutdown going over to IREP is so bad. Yeah, they get the kill, but IREP took the shutdown. That feels so miserable if you're Ziggs.
Yep.
If that kill goes on Ziggs...
While that's happening, I'm going to pause you for a bit. We're going to see Pokemon Panda forcing the flash out of Bromanzilla and continuing just being a nuisance in that top lane. Carry on, bully.
Yeah, that has to feel so demoralizing. We've all been there. Big shutdown on a fed enemy jungler. They finally mess up because they're playing way too far with their lead, and your support takes it. It feels terrible. It feels so bad because you know in your heart, like, if I get this kill, I can do something really valuable with it, and instead it's on this support. You know, supports matter. They're not all useless, but compared to you, it feels bad as the AD carry, and yeah, this is still though a big kill over to Mariachi Mole. It's gonna slow the bleeding here. Gold basically even again, and silently as well, Abarn is kind of on a tear. He's 2-0. He's in complete control of the mid lane, as we kind of thought he would. Really showing why he was confident in blind picking this Tristana, because he's saying like, hey, I don't think Verd has anything that matches well into this, and
yeah,
so far it looks like he's right.
I love the Tristana pick mid. It's fantastic. I love the comp as well on the side of the Mariachi Mullets. They seem like they've kind of settled in after that game too. They're in the driver's seat, and we see Rift Herald going down in the mid lane, and this is going to be exactly what they want, focusing on the objective game, using the Tristana, getting the fully charged bomb, and being able to knock out early turrets, push their lead. And they have Bromanzilla hovering around as well as Dragon starts up. IREP getting able to clear a little bit of vision. They're going to back off, and it looks like they have priority for this Dragon as Force Tactics NA just continues to take a lot of poke.
How many people are going to walk past this pink in the dot brush, though? This pink is an absolute survivor. It has been walked over double-digit times at this point.
Yeah,
but
come
on!
2.
No!
Mullets. Oh no! Someone just walks. You just need to walk through that, y'all. You know that's like a preferred ward spot.
He walked through it. He just didn't take it. I don't know. I don't know.
They didn't even see it. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, Blitzkrieg. All right, Blitzkrieg now fighting Bromanzilla. What do you get when you battle a rock with a very, very sharp sword? You get a very low Malphite. Blitzkrieg going to push down the top lane with the help of Pokemon Panda. Pokemon Panda may be a little upset that he's taking away some of his farm, but Blitzkrieg has made it very, very clear that he wants to carry this series, and he wants the fate of this series in his hands. And you can't really fault him for it, for how he's been playing.
No, definitely not. Blitzkrieg, you know, love him or hate him, his gameplay has been, you know, insane on average, right? Like high highs, low lows, but
certainly high highs and low lows. And we had a little bit of an exchange.
Is he dead?
A lot of flash and circumstances, but not a whole lot. Devious, though, playing with fire, needs to be careful as he is incredibly low and forced out. So I'm going to give that win to the Mariachi Mullets. A lot of cooldowns blown, and Mariachi Mullets bot lane able to push down this turret, grab some more plating.
Yeah, I want to see Blitz path around the mid lane here, because if Abarn is able to be unlocked in this lane to roam bot, that bot tower is going to die. In fact, it might die here anyway. I didn't see the health on it. But the second either of these lanes gets to leave, the Trist or the Ziggs, it becomes way freaking harder for What's a Win Con to play the game, because those two in tandem are going to bulldoze these towers.
Yeah,
as we see Verd jumping on Abarn.
Yep, Rook Scout, however, is there for the counter engage, forces the flash out onto Verd. So Verd's starting to hurt a little bit and punishing the shorter range on the Tristana. But Rook Scout, once again, there to protect his vulnerable, defenseless mid laner.
Yeah, Rook Scout doing a great job being Abarn's knight in shining armor, right? Every time Abarn looks a little overextended, looks like he needs a little help just getting the wave in, just, you know, fighting an overextending mid laner, Rook is always here. And it has to feel so frustrating if you're Verd, because like this whole series, Rook and even IREP at times as well, have been just in his face, in his lane, blowing that flash. He has to use it defensively, and it means he can't play the team fight the way he wants to next. As we see Blitzkrieg jumping IREP here.
Oh, IREP being forced to flash out. Blitzkrieg
He thought about
taking
it.
a couple parting shots. Yeah, he absolutely thought of flashing for it. Maybe his teammates were like, "No, don't do that."
Yeah, I have
So-
to imagine everyone on his team just got absolute flashbacks, PTSD to the last game, and even the first game where he's done that. But you know what? Wisely says, we got the flash, we'll take it, and moves on. You can see how much of a force he is in this game. 5-1 on the Viego, Sunder complete, halfway to his next item, which I believe is Sterix. As we see
so
the
while
Herald
that
go
was
down.
happening in the bot lane, a lot of damage down on a worse Tactics NA, forcing him incredibly low. First Malphite ulti goes into Pokemon Panda, knocking him up. IREP doing his best to help, but it's going to be in the bot lane. Blitzkrieg trying to go for the tower dive, not going to be able to do it. Action all across the map. First Herald rolling in top. Sorry, I believe that's second Herald. Second Herald. Rook Stout, the recipient of both of those, and that is going to be top outer going down. But Blitzkrieg gonna flash in. There's that flash he was holding on to. Blitzkrieg knocking out Who Is This, extending his lead to 6-1. What's a WinCon still even in gold, but they are definitely in the driver's seat, at least in the jungle. Took him on Panda. Will he get away?
Oh,
I don't think he's going to. No, but he does a great job of extending things. Worst Tactics NA is there to get the turnaround kill. And Verd is the word, and he is going to hunt down Rook Stout. Yes, he will. Great play by Verd. Great roam by him. And what's a WinCon continuing to squeeze and opening up the lead. 2,000 gold now.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest lead they've had the entire game. Blitz, don't do it a third time, man. Come on.
Oh, he's going to do it a third time.
Oh, but he might be able to do it.
Yeah, he might. I don't know about that with A-Barn and the Ignite.
You can't give this
beautiful
A-Barn.
flash.
Oh,
I don't think it's going to
no.
be enough, though. Oh, Devious, you did your best. Good play, but that is not the person you want that gold onto. Big shutdown going down onto A-Barn, and that gold lead getting chipped away with one overextension. That's got to be brutal for What's a WinCon, because they want to enable Blitzkrieg to make plays, but they also want to get him to stop doing that.
Yeah, you know, it feels bad when it happens, but it's the aggression that got him to this point, right? You can't forget that when he goes too far. The aggression he's had has been good, by and large, gotten him huge leads in all 3 games. So, yeah, it's easy to look at and say, like, oh, he's just reaching a little bit too far, and obviously you want to dial that back in a little bit, but you can't discourage a player from that.
Worst Tactics NA gets immediately popped. A-Barn on a rampage, gets the reset, and Mariachi Mullets knows exactly what they want to do with this dragon. They have the positioning, they have the priority, and unless What's a WinCon does something special, their Viego's not even on the correct side of the map. They are going to lose this dragon, and it is going to be soul point for the Mariachi Mullets.
Yeah, so it is Cloud Soul, which is kind of a lot less effective than the other souls we've seen in the series. So don't feel too bad going to Soul Point with Cloud Soul. Typically, losing the 3rd Cloud Drake is not going to be the end of the world for a comp, especially one like this, where I think they should really clearly have a scaling edge in these team fights. Obviously, you know, the Engager team play members of Mariachi Mullets can say stuff about that and get a good engage off and just win anyway. Blitzkrieg on the flank here, though.
Oh, yeah, he is, and that's a big flash out from Rook Stout. Does not have that anymore. Pokemon Panda trying to make something happen. Blitzkrieg in a 1v2 gets dunked by Rook Stout, gets killed by Rook Stout. He's going to go down, but Rook Stout is going to pay for it with his life. Devious walking up, doing the misfortune thing. Got a pretty solid ulti, and all told, that's going to be jungler for jungler.
But who is this?
As this continues, but there is Who Is This in the bot lane, pushing, taking advantage of the objective demolition that Ziggs can bring to the table.
He's
pushing down, and let's take stock of the objective control on the side of Mariachi Mullets. 3 dragons, 2 heralds, 3 towers to 1 tower on the side of What's a WinCon.
Yeah, definitely complete objective domination in the face of otherwise losing the game kill-wise, but it's not a team deathmatch, right? This is League of Legends. Objectives are a huge, I would argue, the biggest part of winning a game, right? They've got all 3 Drakes that have spawned so far, 2 Heralds as well, and you can see that in the turrets, 3-1 on the turrets, continuing to out-rotate. And yes, some of that are these champions that sort of enable that type of early objective blitz gameplay. But a lot of it is just better rotation, better priority on the objectives. Blitz has been giving those early drakes away, mostly to get an early lead. And this game, especially in the farm department, he has about as big of a lead as he's had in this series. 50 farm lead for him over his opponent. And yeah, it means he's effective, but you can see if he overreaches, if he messes up, that's where the lead is, right? So then it just becomes the buffed up other members of these team of Mariachi Mullets beating What's a Win Con just straight up in the fights.
Yep, and that's where we're going to see Verd step up. He is the captain of this team. He is the highest rated player on his team. He needs to make some magic happen and take a little bit of that pressure off of Blitzkrieg as Rookstout goes in onto Tokemon Panda. Tokemon Panda, though, he is going to take a dive into the ground and get out no problem, healing himself back up, but we see pings going down. Help pings.
The Baron
needs help. Wants
they
Baron,
spotted,
and they could do it with the attack speed buff of the Jarvan plus the Tristana.
It is very slow.
What's a Win Con respond? Viego's on the wrong side of the map.
They don't know. They spotted Viego bot side, and they immediately turned and pivoted towards the Baron. This is such a good port. I think he might actually immediately get popped, so I might be trolling. Oh, Dev, don't die.
Oh man, Bromanzilla trying to slow
Baron's
Blitzkrieg
gone.
down, and that is going to be a free uncontested Baron on the side of Mariachi Mullets, continuing their objective dominance. Does not matter what the gold lead is. They're going to try, What's a Win Con going to try to get mid-outer in response. Good play by them. So despite an uncontested Baron, Rookstout is there rolling in onto 3 people. Blitzkrieg is alone against the other team. Devious, however, on a killing spree. Blitzkrieg goes down. Bird is there trying to dive in, trying to layer the damage, but shut down from who is this? Will he be able to knock him out? Yes, Bird rolling in. Can he make magic happen? No, he can't.
No.
That's going to be a triple kill from who is this? That is a dirty ace. 3 kills on the side of What's a Win Con, but not enough. And with the objective demolition of Ziggs, how much will Mariachi Mullets take on the back of that fight?
Yes, they're going to lose a lot on the back half, but still not the end of the world because you got Baron off of 3 people. This is going to be the extent of the Baron. It is a big reward for winning the team fight, right? But probably no bigger than they would have otherwise gotten had they grouped together. So honestly, not really the end of the world for What's a Win Con. Still going to be very far behind. Losing 2 turrets in the mid lane is going to make fighting for the soul much more difficult, right? Because you don't have that turret giving you by default a lot of lane priority. When there's a turret disparity in the mid lane, you have a much easier time contesting the Drakes. And with this team comp, you see him already. IREP going to have to be careful though not to get caught out, but it is way easier. Oh, Blitz, don't do this again. It is going to be way easier for them.
Stop.
yeah. Just play a little slow, man. Like, you got to figure his teammates are somewhere on the map with him at some point. Oh, we got to jump in from Tokimon.
Oh yeah, Tokemon
he's
going deep, misses his knockup, gets
no.
obliterated immediately, and here comes the Tristana kill. Double kill, triple kill, does a Goomba Stomp in the air just for fun. Bromanzilla is chasing down Devious, does not have the ulti, but that is a triple kill, and Bromanzilla is going to set his team up for the team fight win, and I actually think, Bully, this is going to be the game win. They are on a mission to leave no doubt that they are the #1 seed going into these playoffs. Mariachi Mullets, despite incredible resistance from What's a Win Con, are able to take it in 3. Well played. What a series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just at a loss for words. Just awesome shot calling from Mariachi Mullets here. You can see that overall throughout the series, they were the more cohesive unit as a team. They were darting around, making more objective-oriented, game-ending oriented calls, and that's what wins you games, right? Like, taking I think literally every neutral objective that spawned, they got. That's domination. Even though Rookstout's going to go behind in the one-on-one versus Blitz, you have to realize, like, Blitz is consciously choosing to give away those objectives for that lead, saying I can carry with this, and ultimately just couldn't, right? Like, gave his shutdown away to Abarn. That's huge. You don't think that extra gold that Abarn had helped him do that Baron a little easier? Like, that was definitely a big part of it, right? And you just got to play better with your leads than that, right? Looked way better than they have all season, but still nothing you can do.
I needed to take a moment. Don't look. Did you see damage graphs already?
I have not.
Okay. Who do you think was #1 damage? I'll give you a hint. It's on the side of Mariachi Mullets.
Is it? It's got to be IRAP, right? Because it's got
was
the
IRAP, yeah.
stupid Maokai saplings.
Yup. The
Yeah,
stupid Maokai
IRAP.
saplings, number one damage, shortly followed by A-Barn. But it's just that Maokai was,
What are you gonna do?
he's just a pain. Even though he had I think he had 5 deaths early in the game,
Yeah.
and just Blitzkrieg was getting absolutely out of control. But yeah, damage graph. Uh, Gold graph firmly in favor of what's a win con until the very end. And Mariachi Mullets just took that lead, ran with it, and all of the objectives that they had built up really paid off. Well played by them. Hey, congratulations, Mariachi Mullets. They earned that number 1 seed.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think we have to argue about this one at all. I think player of the game here, it's kind of clear. He might be the first one. Let's get Joe in here.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna need Joe to get out of his. There he is. Hello, Mr. Rook Stout. Congratulations on a hard-fought victory. You are our series MVP. Congratulations on the win and the number 1 seed.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate it a lot. It was hard fought. I gotta say, there were a few moments there where it seemed like we were not gonna win.
Yeah, Joe, I think you're the first jungler we've ever given an interview to who went down 50 CS like that, and really dominated the game anyway, taking every neutral objective. What did those dragons and heralds and barons do to you?
They won us the game, man. Like statistically, you can get a lot of kills, you can get a lot of money, but if you get Dragon Soul, you win the game.
That's how it works. That's how
Yep.
it works.
That is how League of Legends is played. And it was really fun to watch. Serious contrast in styles, right? Blitzkrieg very much carrying through solo plays, trying to make kills, trying to make things happen. You, however, playing the map, playing kind of that team jungler, and while you're just kind of letting him do his thing, and you're like, cool, you go have some fights. I'm gonna go take Rift Herald. And
Dude's
in
hitting
game
me
3,
with the contrast in styles while
Absolutely.
Blitzkrieg just unscrewed my team's neck and shut down their throats.
Oh my God, dude. This is a family stream, so we're gonna cut that one out. No, that's okay. Hey, I get it, man. You're hyped. The adrenaline's probably flowing.
I'm perspiring.
Oh yeah, as you should be. You were working hard. It's not easy being a jungler. And speaking of working hard, let's talk about those hard-fought smite steals, which basically turned the series around in game 2. Talk us through the lead up to that and how you were able to make that happen.
Let me give you a window into the comms. It's 150 till Soul spawns. We're just yelling. Don't just push these waves, and go to the dragon pit, and do not die. So a couple of us die, and I'm like, all right, you know what? We're just gonna YOLO it for Soul, and it's gonna be a-okay. So yeah, I just Q flash smite the dragon steel, snap that up, and I think there's no possibility that we get the Baron Steel too. Like, in what universe, bro? No way, I don't have flash. I'm Sejuani against whatever they picked, dude. 200 years. And who is this? Who is this himself? Is like, I mean, I'm just about to do a ton of damage to Baron if you want to get in there. And I sure did. So I just queued over and stole it, dude. It was a yeet. It was a big yeet, and then we won the game. Did we have objective bounties?
You definitely did.
You had
Yeah,
so many
We
objective
definitely
bounties.
did.
Y'all were
objective
down.
bounties carried you.
I think we were down what, like
We were-
5,000.
we
I think
were
y'all were down like
gaming.
5,000 gold, and then it just like instantly snapped to even.
Yeah,
And then because we were even saying like, oh wow, is this going to be an upset? Are they going to take him in 2? Because is this going to be the number 3 seed, Mariachi Mullets? And Joa said no.
Yeah,
Joa
Joe really
said
said no.
no.
truly, dude.
Absolutely. And I think with those objective steals as well, you kind of stole the mental from the other team. How big of a
That's true.
boost was that for you guys?
It's been said time and time again that there is actually no mental defeat greater than like kind of pounding game 1 and then losing a close loss in game 2, because that like gasses up our mental. We're hyped. It's like, oh, we got the steal. And then we win the game, and they're like, "Oh my god, dude, did we just lose the game? Like we were winning the game the whole time, and we just lost." And it always goes the same way, dude. Stomp, game 1. Close defeat, game 2. L, game 3.
Yeah, I think we have the graph. If we can throw that up there, that
let's
kind of
see the
highlights
graph.
highlights what we're
Yeah.
talking about. Sort
I
of
was wrong.
saying
It
you
was a
can-
4,000 gold lead before you.
I mean,
you
that's
flipped
not that
it.
much gold in League of Legends
Yeah.
at like 40
This is a
minutes,
horror.
or whatever time it
Look,
was.
look
but
at this game. Is this? I don't know. Is this game 2? This must be game 2.
This is game 2. Yeah.
This is a horror.
That line is the double steal.
Yeah, you had it. You
Hey,
guys got more
yowza.
handouts. You guys got more handouts from objective bounties than anyone ever before. You gotta watch out. That was
That's true.
that is absurd.
That's true.
Yeah,
Joe
so that's
Biden,
a-
please keep sending me. Go send me that, dude. Joey
Am I
Buckets,
mathing
put it
correct?
in.
That was a 12,000 gold swing in 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Those
seeing.
are the numbers, Mason. Holy cannoli, that's so much money. That's
That's a lot of
gaming,
money.
dude.
That's
League
how
of
you play
Legends.
League.
And
That's
you
the
invested
season
it
we're in.
wisely. You invested
Yeah.
it very wisely. That's some good that's some good 401k
Invested.
there for you
That's
guys.
right.
And like you said, the mental was there. Before we go, I do have to call out in game 1. I want to know kind of what was the conversation? How did you mentally reset after game 1 where Blitzkrieg was just all over your jungle,
Bro.
stole the red buff, and was just making your life miserable. How'd you recover from that into the game 2?
I have played first a few cans in my day, and it's always the same stuff. We got the ward on his raptors, and I was like, "Hey, Brian, just like stand by my raptors, make sure he doesn't do them." And he stood there for like most of the time. Then I was like, he's not gonna do it. You can go away. It totally might be. Like if Abraham had just stood there, who would have just donked him. But I think he walked out as Kane walked in, and he just walked into my heart. I don't know. He like destroyed me.
Bad
That was
timing,
so
yeah.
nasty, dude.
It was pretty bad.
I
It was
probably
pretty.
shouldn't have fought him when I was level 2 and he was level 3 at my
Probably not.
freaking wolves at like literally 2 minutes, but whatever, bro.
We may
You
have
c-
commented on that, but
Yeah.
hey, that's okay. You
Yeah.
won, so I mean, we can now talk about it, and it's fun. It's like,
Yeah.
I
game
believe
1
we
was rough.
lost. But
Yeah.
Well, you won this
Honestly-
series, right? You lost that one for content.
Yeah, for content.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think
Thank you
if
for the
he-
content, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. I think it would have been a very different game if he didn't get that enormous lead, but like we can throw what ifs around all day. Dude's a gamer.
Yeah, definitely.
He's cracked, man. He's kind of nuts. He doesn't even play jungle, I guess. I don't know what the deal is,
Yeah,
but
he
he's out of
plays
control.
he plays kind of everything, which works when you're playing a champion that plays all 5 of your champs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't want to like leave here without, saying that the squadron had the mental of champions tonight. We were in here and we're like, reset the comms, do some stretches, do like a push up, take a dump, whatever you have to do between games.
You had the music bot blasting, I saw.
Dude, I have all those things on mute. Get out of my life with those. It's so annoying. Abraham put on the Tyler One hype montage just to go 07, dog.
That's Avard right there. He did
Oh,
that for us last season too.
NAJs, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man.
NAJs.
Yeah, that was number 1 damage, by the way. Game 2. Anyway,
He really brought it back. He was disgusting the rest of the
yeah.
series.
Yeah, he 12,000 gold will do that for you. Anyway, before we say goodnight and allow you out of our hot seat, the MVB hot seat, the most coveted and wonderful seat in the world.
Really, bro?
Is there anything you would like to say to everybody at home watching?
Would like to thank my mom, obviously. No, we're not there yet. That's for the finals. I don't know. Keep on keeping on, guys. Like it's a great time. Practice with your teams. It's all about building friendships and love for the squad. And yeah, the teams who do that historically succeed. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Love thy
Wise
gamers.
words. Wise words from Mr. Rook Stout. Mariachi Mullets coming back from the brink on back-to-back global objective steals. Soul and Baron. Series MVP. His team has secured the number 1 seed into playoffs. Thank you so much.
For sure.
Alrighty. So I don't know about you. I don't know about you, Bully, but my voice is shot, so I'm going to make this short. That is actually almost the end of our regular season. Congratulations to Mariachi Mullets securing the number 1 seed. And I believe playoff picture, that is Blood Monies with number 2 and Pop number 3. Am I correct?
Yep, it's Blood 1, or I'm sorry, it's Mariachi Mullets 1, Blood 2, Pop 3, Monty Python is 4.
Mm-hmm.
Then the winner of tomorrow's game will be 5 between Bird Circuit Cleanup and What's a WinCon, and then the loser will be 6. So we got a toilet bowl tomorrow night. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and the number 6 seed has to face off against Pickles on Pizza, who may have a bit of an axe to grind and some frustration to get out. They're no slouches. They were undefeated up until Mariachi Mullets knocked them out. Uh,
Quick
so
correction, by the way. It is
sorry.
Thursday, not tomorrow. So
Okay. So it's gonna be
made a mistake.
Thursday normal time for that one. Burnt Circuit Cleanup versus What's a Win Con. Both teams looking for their first win, as well as trying to dodge a likely very annoyed Pickles on Pizza who have to play an extra best of 5. So definitely something to play for there. Please tune in on Thursday. We'd love to have you hang out, vote for your winners, be an analyst in chat. Maybe we'll pull you into the stream itself. That's going to do it for us, Bully. Thank you so much for hanging out on this marathon on behalf of Swordmaster on production, Mr. Bully, all of our special guests, Music X, Voitech. I'm going to try to remember everybody. Music X, Voitech, Tailwood, Bloodbath and Beyond, Rudy. Congratulations to Mariachi Mullets. That's going to do it. I'm Jaws. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday. Have a good night.